Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Frankie B. Sorry, I'm running a little late. I'm actually sharing this to a few groups and stuff. Give me a second, and then I'll explain. Actually, doing one of those rare moments of just jumping on and doing a live draw stream. So anyway, I hope everyone's morning starting off pretty good. I know mine is, and yeah, man, uh, time to get on the art. See a few more, and then I can get going with this. So anyway, all right, that should be more than enough. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna pop that up. Got my good old screen open over here just in case. And feel free if you're watching to comment and stuff. And between, I'll do few little breaks or whatever, and see if I can chat back and stuff. Oh man, drinking some tea right now. All right, so what's going on right now is that and I believe I have it in the post, the head of the post. I'm doing actually, me and Matthew Blair are doing a Kickstarter right now for our comic book called KAIJUS and COWBOYS, which is actually picked up, is being published by Second Sight Publishing. Thank you for next year. But this Kickstarter is for the exclusive zero-issue comic book, which will only be available on the Kickstarter. And Matthew started the Kickstarter last Friday, and we're literally like maybe a quarter to the funding, like that quick. Like, I mean, if tomorrow, if we can just get over that hump and get it funded, then it's a 30-day campaign. So then hopefully we can go above that, go above and beyond. So anyway, I'm doing this live draw as a way to sort of emphasize the fact of one of the reward tiers that's part of the campaign, and that reward tier would be sketch cards. Now, I've worked a few years in doing sketch cards. I started back in 2009, and I was brought in by an amazing individual by the name of Stephen Frank, who at the time had a company called Fifinity Productions, and he just happened to see my artwork on Facebook, actually, and my postings, and he really felt that I could do some sketch card art, and I knew nothing about sketch cards. So I was like, well, I was doing a lot of advertising work at that time and stuff, and I was like, well, what are they? I had no idea. And he said, well, they are these 2x5, 2.5 by 3.5 size illustrations that artists do. I said, really? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, so like storyboards, right? He was like, yeah. So like if you do one storyboard panel, people actually collect these. And I said, no way. Come on, man. You pulling my leg. You get these offers, you get people contacting you and stuff, and I'm somebody who's I've been in the game field for a little bit, so I'm always hearing stories, and I sort of process it, but I really didn't believe that there are people collecting artwork this small. And he said, yeah. There's a market for this, and he said, I really feel your artwork would really add to this. And so I said, okay, let's see what we can do. So anyway, he had got me on, I believe, the first set. Now my memory's kind of rusty, so don't hold me to this, but I think the first one was Archie. He had gotten the licensing for Archie, and then he got the licensing for the greatest. I remember that Greatest American Hero, and it was Archie, and then he hooked up this deal with Moonstone Books. I remember that, and then from there, it just sort of ballooned. Like I remember he had gotten Kong of Skull Island, I believe. So I worked on that set, and then the big one, really, I know for myself, was Voltron, when he was finally able to get the licensing to do some trading card set, but also the sketch cards for that set was phenomenal. I mean, I was like, yeah, and he knew I was like right for it, because I love super robots and I love kaijus and that kind of thing. So anyway, and then it just bloomed from there. Then I bounced to a couple of other card companies. One was Bregent Marketing, which I'm not sure if they're around anymore, but I did Transformers with those guys. And then also the really big one for me was Upper Deck. I did a ton of Marvel stuff with Upper Deck. And And then there was I can't think, Rittenhouse. Yes, Rittenhouse. I did some Marvel stuff with Rittenhouse. And then off and on, I actually bounced. There was a couple others in between that I worked, some indie ones as well. So yeah, so overall, I've definitely made my way in the sketch card industry. Some collectors out there still remember me, still have a lot of my artwork that I put out there, which I'm very happy, if they have homes and stuff like that. And so anyway, now we're at this point, 2021, where I'm starting to see a resurgence of sketch cards, especially in the comic book community. For years, for me personally, dealing with sketch cards, I never understood, like, I was like, why aren't comic book companies doing more cards? Like the main guys, like Marvel, DC, and stuff like that. Like when I would work on a Marvel set for, say, Upper Deck, they weren't issuing the cards in comic books and stuff like that, or the sketch cards. There was almost like the sketch cards were a separate entity to the actual comic books. And then I believe some LC, what do you call it, LC local comic shops carried them, but they would be almost like this separate entity instead of something that was like a whole, where a sketch card or something would be put in with, say, a comic book. So now you're starting to pull in these comic book readers back into this kind of collector kind of thing, and it just wasn't happening. So now 2021, I'm starting to see individuals like my man Peter Samedi over at Alterna, where he did a crowdfunding where he had and I actually was part of it, did sketch cards, his own custom sketch cards. I think I have some Alterna cards over here. Here, actually, I'll see if I can pull them out. Got some drawings on some of them. This is one right here that I got right here. Let's see if you guys can see. But he did his own custom ones, and I'm starting to see a lot of indie comic book companies doing this. They're either doing their own trading cards featuring their characters, or they're getting artists like myself to come along on the reward tiers and do sketch cards and draw, and sketch cards are original artwork drawn on sketch cards. And the thing about it is that these cards have a collectability similar, if not exceeding, what you're seeing with larger pieces of artwork. I mean, I've seen cards sell for thousands of dollars, than, say, an 11 by 17, or even an 8.5 by 10, or even a 11 by 14. I mean, there are sketch card artists out there that are on such a level that it's just staggering, and that's just I don't even know what to even tell you. I've seen some sketch card art that is just mind blowing, and I'm scratching my head going, how is this possible? So the reason why I'm doing this today is to show people, to sort of showcase what people will be getting if you decide to go over to the Kickstarter and you get a reward tier featuring, a commission, me commissioning for a sketch card. Now, the sketch cards that I'm going to be doing that's on the Kickstarter will be black and white. Don't get scared too yet. They're going to be black and white, same as the commissions, but after the campaign is over, and if somebody really wants color or whatever, then you'll be able to email me, and I can quote you a price for coloring, to do the color work on it, if that's what you so choose. Now, for me, when I say black and white, I mean black and white with gray tone added to it, and that's what I'm going to do today. These are going to be some illustrations. I'm gonna see if I can get through them all. I'm going to sort of mix it up where I have. One's going to be the hunter, and then I'm going to have a pop icon character. So just to show people that when we said KAIJUS and Cowboys, I would love to be able, if people want to commission me to do our protagonists and other KAIJUS, original KAIJUS that we're creating. But if people say, hey, look, Frank, I would love to get Gamera, which I drew a picture, a rough sketch of Gamera, or say Godzilla 2000 right here, then I don't mind. I'm not gonna have a problem with that. I mean, you're commissioning me to do some artwork, and then and hopefully you look at my artwork and you like my artwork, and I'm gonna do what I do best with sketch cards. I'm pretty much known as an artist who I like to draw full out scenes and stuff with the pieces that I do. Not throwing shade toward anyone who happens to do headshots and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that I'm one of those artists. I tend to look at sketch cards as a panel on a storyboard. So it's almost as if you pick it up, I want somebody to be like, well, what's the story here, and sort of build off of that. That's just always been me, and I'm not changing. Pretty much, I'm not changing. So, all right, let's do this. Now, first, I want to do a shout out to Karen, who I have her information in the context of this post. She works for a company called Iconics Digital Arts, I believe that's the name, and I actually have her email in there. They tend to do a lot of these custom sketch cards, and this particular, the one that we have for our campaign, which again, I'll start from the back. It has KAIJUS and COWBOYS, and I did all this and stuff. The point weight on this cardstock is called 32 point black edge, and like you can see, there's a thin black ledge right here. This is a very sturdy card. I actually got the idea to do this cardstock from another artist who has some sets, and I don't know why I'm starting to have a brain fart here. Ooh, I can't think of his name. Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. He has United Arts sketch cards. Oh, he's gonna kill me. Mike James, that's it. Ugh, Mike, please forgive me. I'm an old man. But he has Artists United, that's it. I had a brain fart there. Jeez, old age, man. I gotta do some more puzzles and stuff. Keep my brain going. But anyway, his name is Mike James. He's an artist as well, but he started doing these custom sort of cards and stuff, and they're really cool. The quality's really good, and I saw it and I said, oh man, these are pretty sturdy. So I asked him, I said, dude, what kind of cardstock are you doing it? Who's doing it? And he said, Karen's doing this. And so I remember Karen from long ago. She started doing a lot of custom cards for artists, and way back when. So anyway, you know, this is what a company does. So these are 32 point black edge, and they're a nice sturdy stock, you know, nice white right here for drawing. And I borrowed this idea from Mike, whereas you have the nice little, I believe you have the little logo right in there, black and white, little gray, and then you have the back right there, KAIJUS and COWBOYS. And so I could either sign my name in there, or I can sign what the character's name is. So that's an option too, if people want. And then I usually put my, sign it with my name, my little logo icon in there. But anyway, this is pretty much the cards. You know, if you do that reward tier on the Kickstarter, this is what you're going to be getting. So anyway, I have some reference material. I think I'm going to go with, first off, to start off with the more popular character, because that tends to always get people's interest. So I'm going to move some of these cards way over here. Let's see. I'm going to go with my favorite, and that's going to be Gamera. All right, I got this side paper over here just in case if I make any mistakes, or if I have any, like when I get to the gray tones and stuff, that any splash or stuff like that, I can sort of protect. Even though my mat here is all like years of just muck and crap all over it. All right, so right here, I'm just going to show you guys. You got to have some reference. So I got my man right here, one of my figures. And this is the Gamera, the I forgot what they call that, the legacy version of Gamera, not the old school one. So using them as a reference. And so let's get this going. So first we're gonna go with like a nice pencil. So hopefully you guys can see it. Please feel free to chat. Let me know if you can see stuff or not. All right. Now this cardstock really holds pencil and ink really good. I just want to also give a huge shout out and a thank you to those people that have contributed to our campaign. It's so funny. It's really very new to me in a certain degree, because I'm usually, when I'm doing these crowdfunders, I'm either invited to be like a artist working like on some reward tier or something, and now it's like I'm like backstage now. I'm like, you know, part of the running the campaign and getting stuff out and stuff. So this is very special to me. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you all for, you know, just having the faith and checking it out and, you know, and letting us know what you think about the concept. It's so tough because it's so, the thing is so new, and that we still, you know, for us, this year is going to be a year of working because we're going to have the comic book coming out next year. So I'm really excited and ready, just ready to create some really amazing artwork. So I must say, Gamma has always been my favorite. It is so important to have reference. You know, even though I've seen the character, you know, like, you know, hundreds of times or whatever, I still like to have reference around, because I know that there's always something that, you know, I just hate the fact of trying to come in and add something. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's really tough. I'm filming this on my iPhone, so get these artists with these huge, massive setups and stuff. It's crazy. Now, usually, I do gestural drawing just to sort of get the shape. I'm not going to try to get really crazy, like super crazy, but you know, you don't want to get too detailed. Not yet. My detail is going to come when the actual inking happens and come in and fill in stuff. Right now, I'm just trying to get the basic shapes and stuff laid out. Now remember, this is what you'll be getting. It always boggles my mind when I see people kind of not, because I don't know if they truly understand that this is original artwork. It's always like you go, huh? You mean a sketch card, this little thing. And the funny part about it is that the pros of it is that since they're small pieces, they don't take up a lot of room, and you get one of those, like I have a, what is it, what kind of thing of a binder I have? I have an Ultra Pro Collector's Album. These books, oh man, they are filled. I mean, I pretty much have them filled with, you know, pieces that I've done, and as well as pieces from other artists that I've commissioned. I've commissioned other artists to do sketch cards. It's definitely something, a great way to get artwork from an artist. And there's many artists out there that really, they just, you know, they really take it to heart. They do a tremendous job. You look at it and it's going, oh man, you're looking at pieces that are like, literally like gallery level illustrations and stuff. It's stunning. And I would love to see, especially in the comic book industry and the indie market, like more people, you know, sort of gravitate toward it. I think it's a great way to, you know, get art out there for artists to, you know, be able to sell it and, you know, get your artwork out there in front of people. Plus, you're also getting your characters. So, yeah, ideally, I want to see people, if they do commission me, you know, which would make probably more sense, commission me to draw the hunter, because then, you know, you never know. The worst thing you do is, like, all of a sudden, I'm just saying hypothetically, like, what if it, you know, KAIJUS and Cowboy become some big thing or whatever? Who knows? And next thing you know, you're like, oh man, he was right there, and I didn't get this guy to do the hunter. You know, should have got to do that character. That's the worst feeling. And I speak of this because I'm a collector myself. You know, I've chilled down over the years, but you know, I still have a lot of cool stuff, especially cell. I have cell art from various shows, Japanese shows, especially with super robots. I mean, I think I got one Mazinga Z, or maybe two Mazinga Z cells. They're not that old though, unfortunately. I know I definitely got some big old cells. I know that I have Kabatra. I know I have Radine. Dangard Ace, I have a few panels of. I know that. I was adamant about that, getting and then I had just some various ones from various mecha shows. So that's what I mean, the heart of the collector. It's no joke. I just really hope people, you know, because you're watching me doing this, that you see that there is a as you see, I keep looking. You know, reference is always a good thing, but also you don't want to get too bogged down. You know, you want to be able to see just the little things in there, but you want to make it your own. You know, I always, you know, if I'm talking to artists and stuff like that, I'm like, hey, the whole point is like, you're not a copy machine. I'm not a copy machine. If somebody wants a copy machine, they just, you know, just get the photograph and then copy it. You know, and there you go, you'll be done. Maybe, you know, but if you want something, an interpretation by an artist that you say you truly like or enjoy, then you want to be able to get that artist, their energy, like what how do they perceive this piece? You know, that's what you want. You know, any artist that I've commissioned, I've always been like, free reign, go ahead. You know, I'll say, well, this is the character I like, and show them what you got. And that's it. I don't want to hamper anything that will stop the flow and the magic that's going on there. All right. So the idea is that it's sort of like I'm taking a little bit of the Rodin. It's coming out of molten lava. Now the thing is on the, if you look at the campaign, the Kickstarter campaign, I'm stating that, you know, it's one character, you know, but with some limited background. And this is how I view limited background, a scene, you know, so people can get an idea of what that is. Let's see. I'll probably extend that a little bit longer. I'm gonna move you out the way a little bit. Leave my other hand in here. Oh, okay, I'll squeeze it in there. One of the things about it is that there has to be a level of confidence when you're doing art. Now, not arrogance, but level of confidence. You know, I don't look at art and beat myself up over it and stuff. I just go, well, Frank, I'm gonna do my best today, and tomorrow, you know, I'll do better. And if that day doesn't seem as better, then the next day will be better, and so on and so forth. I don't get so caught up into beating myself up over things. I suggest that's something you kind of, you know, if you're one of those kind of people that do that, you should really, I would say, you know, try to form maybe a mantra of positivity, you know, because you're still human. The thing about it is that we're, in all our beautiful flaws. Oh, come on, stand on your feet. Give me a second. Let me just get his feet right. Oh, camera. It's gonna be one of those days, huh? All right, there you go. We're flawed creatures, so that whole idea of trying to do perfection is just, I don't know. I always scratch my head when I hear stuff like that. I'm trying to get the perfect thing. What's perfect? I don't know what's perfect. All right. Boy, the quality of this cardstock is phenomenal. I really do. I'm gonna say this right now. Please, if you are interested in doing your own personal cardstock, reach out to Karen. She's really good. It was funny because I actually had, she caught a mistake that I did, like a typo, and she immediately contacted me and was like, yo, you got a typo here. You know, do you want me to fix it? Like, she reached out and told me that. I mean, that's amazing service. So anyway, just, you know, throw some love. Yeah, tell her Frank sent you. Yeah. You know, who? It's like that character from Guardians of the Galaxy. Who? Star-Lord, man. Star-Lord. What? I'm gonna probably throw some magma and stuff coming off of them. Alright. Now, original sketch cards were that. Like, if you saw some of the really old school, when sketch cards first were out there, they were sketches. You know, and there's still artists that draw like that. You know, just they're very sketchy. And then there's guys like myself where, you know, when I got in, I looked at a couple of other artists who I really admired, and they were doing like full out detailed stuff, and I was like, man, that's what I'm talking about, you know. But that's the good thing about art, is that there's so much room for everyone to be able to shine in it. You know, there's always going to be, everyone's going to have a certain style or whatever that they really like. You know. Let's see. Right. I'm thinking that probably for speed wise, it might be best if I do the penciling, get the penciling out the way first, and then come back and start laying down some inks and stuff, and then afterwards I'll get some marker out. All right. Okay. And feel free to share too if you think people might be interested or whatever in seeing this. By all means, please feel free to share. The greatest strength for anyone in the indie market is word of mouth. Well, just in anything. I mean, even as a, you know, working as a commercial illustrator for years, you know, being able to have people be able to toss your name around or show something, just to tell people, hey, look, you know, you need to hire this person because this person is quality work and whatever. That's important. All right, so that's the first one. All right, let's see the next one. I'm gonna jump over and do our guy now. Let's see, the hunter. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna do the hunter right here. And this is one of the concept pages that we have up. That's gonna be up on the campaign. So, and I always see that. I have it printed out and stuff, and I look at it. Even though I've drawn this character, you know, it's good to have the reference. I think I said before, like, I was heavily influenced by Clint with Man with No Name. This idea of this hunter who's going around and he's hunting these KAIJUS and stuff. He has a massive, he has this, let's see here. All right. Hey everybody, what's going on? Let me know you're there. Let's be friendly and cordial now. I was on a show yesterday, Inkfinity's YouTube channel and stuff. It was a good show, you know. You know, I'm always wondering, because when people invite me to shows, I want to make sure that they understand that I'm going to keep it real, and that's all I can do. Because I'm passionate about this too. I mean, I've worked in doing art and stuff for 30 years. It's like I don't know no other way to say it. You know, I got into this career as a commercial illustrator because I believe in it. You know, I don't want pity from anyone. I want respect. I want people to respect the fact of my career. You know, and that respect comes out in the form of work. You know, you get hired to do jobs. That's the respect. Okay. I'm using, actually, so rude of me. I should have told you that I'm working on a paper using a Papermate pencil. These are very simple, easy pencils. I mean, I got all kind of different pencils and stuff. But you know, it's all about, for me, speed and being able to get something that's accessible so I can just pick up and just start flying with it. You know, I got mechanical pencils too. I don't know if they probably still do mechanical pencils. But anything I can just grab at the moment, I'll just grab it. I must say that I am happy. The design, this design of the character was one of those, again, those very, quick idea thing that kind of hit me. Like I knew already how he was gonna look, and I was like, well, I love the way Jaguar looks, and I wanted the creepy face. And then when it started coming out, I started going, oh man, he looks almost like he has that almost vibe of what was that character from Marvel UK, Death's Head. I think I said that before. And then, but the best again, I wasn't thinking of Death's Head, but I think that that's one of those things when we've seen so much stuff that you just can't help. There's that connection. That's why when people go, oh man, I had this idea, and next thing you know, you see a movie come out. It's like, yeah, just now it's really about like who's going to be the first one to put something out. I love the fact that he has his dreadlocks, but they're actually input cables too. They serve a purpose. Like he can jack into other robots. Like I think we've kind of alluded to it in one of the scenarios, but you gotta get the comic. But he has a couple of different capabilities. But for me, I've always loved how Gonage's approach to when he does characters and stuff like that, and especially the characters in the Ghetto Robo team and the expressions on their face. Yeah, I love to capture some of that magic. It's such a fine line. I also am a huge fan of what Herb Trimpe did with the Shogun Warriors and the Godzilla comics as a Westerner. So. All right, see. Hopefully other artists, I'm hoping that when more campaigns happen, that other artists end up doing things like this. I think it's important, because you're asking people to buy into the concept and buy into the whatever you're offering. And I think sometimes people have to see it. It's almost like when you get a new vehicle, you go for your test ride and stuff. So it's almost like, well, how's the artwork gonna look? I think that's people get so shy about stuff like that because they just don't have a grasp of what it is. They're like, oh my God, this guy, he's saying sketch cards and stuff, but what does that mean? Is this gonna be like this image that's kind of sort of like he did it in like 2 seconds and said, "Da-da, here you go. Thanks for spending X amount." No. That's why I'm doing this video. This video is to show you that I'm a person of my word. We both are, and that I want you to be able to have quality, quality art. It's my rep on the line, so I hold that very true. Especially a rep that I have built over like 30 years. I tell any artist or creative person out there, that's what you have. You have your rep. Your quality of business, and that's yours. You especially if you've earned it. You put the time in, and you've earned it. So it's a very important thing. So if anybody's trying to stain that, then that's not a good thing. And you don't want to help them along either. You want to be able to say, look, I do this level work, and I want people to understand that, and not just talk too. It's got to be action. So, all right, let's see, guys. Oh man, I'm so anxious to start working on the actual the comic pages and stuff. That's gonna kick into gear after the campaign. Once the campaign's done. So we're talking from like June and stuff. That's gonna be really cool. You know what? I'm gonna take a little drink of some tea. Let me refresh my page just in case, because I don't know if anybody's been chatting or anything. So don't want to be rude. All right. Yeah. Maybe I picked it Thursday. Maybe Thursday's not the day, huh? That's okay. That's okay. I'm just gonna keep drawing. If you feel comfortable enough, yeah, let me know you're there. Let me know that you're checking this out and stuff. It's about the engagement. That's always an important thing. I think it's important that people engage. I don't want to see that get destroyed. You think with the internet and stuff like that but surprisingly no. You usually just get you don't get a lot of talking, a lot of shouting at each other though, unfortunately, which is very sad. But all we can do is just keep doing what we're doing, right? Alright. Now, this isn't a big action pose or anything like that. Just a nice, easy, simple pose. And it's funny because even when I draw my gestural drawings, I'll look at them later and go, oh, that's not working. So, my mind immediately tells me, well, you gotta readjust now. I think I'm gonna have that drape down a little bit more. Alright, let's see, here we go. That little fan out. Boy, love the eraser. The way that hand is. So I gotta do that more gestural. Draw some boulders in here and stuff, and rock and whatever. I see at the very last minute, this idea to show like this. Let's see. Okay. Now this would be an additional, like it could draw another different character and stuff like that. So the commissions I'm doing on the Kickstarter will be just one character, but you know, I don't mind sneaking just a little bit of something else in there, you know, just a little bit, you know, just a little bit of gratitude, you know, just to be like, hey, look, thank you so much, and whatever, you know, thank you for you know, helping us to reach our funding goal. All right, draw that in there and draw some rocks and whatever. So you don't really see too much of it, but you know, there was a big creature and that he's just kind of, one thing about him, I'm definitely gonna be showing him getting beat up. I love characters like that. All right, let's see. How's everybody? Everybody still there? You still with me? Fingers crossed. Yeah. All right, refreshed it a little more. All right. All right. So I got 2 cards already done, like pencil. They're not done yet. So let's see the next one. Next one will be Godzilla. So now I'm gonna bring out my little, this guy right here. I have this little figure of Godzilla 2000. I think I've drawn him once, you know. I think I've drawn him once. Yeah. And again, just for the sake of this demonstration of what kind of cards that you know, what kind of cards you're going to be getting if you decide to do a reward tier that's on our Kickstarter. You know, I thought it'd be okay to draw a little Godzilla in here. He's a kaiju, right? It's my kaiju fam. I will admit that this was during the time when this Godzilla came out. That's pretty much when I started getting away from Toho, the Toho Godzilla film line. You know, I think at this time was more like I knew that the storylines and the characters just weren't, you know, that now, you know, I'm such a person who loved the Showa era and stuff like that, and especially when the Gamera Legacy stuff started dropping, that I was like, okay. I guess for me it was that with these, and again, this isn't throwing shade on anyone because you like the style, but just my own observation. When I always hear the argument when people say that suits are fake and stuff, I feel like during this period, that's when things started looking more like sets. Like when you look at the Showa era, they literally were trying to make them look like real world kind of things, like trying to put it into a you know, environments and stuff like that. They actually were trying to do that, and then all of a sudden, when Godzilla started getting really huge and these kind of movies, you could literally, I almost feel like you can almost see the characters are on the wires and stuff. So that's when I kind of checked out. I was like, okay. But with that said, I'm glad they made these. I'm glad that because it brought in a lot of new people to the IP, and so that's important. You know, I always say that the thing is that I can look back at the history of a lot of these concepts and stuff like that, and I'm just happy that they've had the longevity, the survival capability, because without them, then I don't know if KAIJUS and COWBOYS would even have a chance, or other ones, Kaiju Max, you know, or you know, even Ultraman, the new Ultraman comic book. Oh, and by the way, I hope you had a chance to jump on that Ultraman card set by R.R. Parks Cards. Richard did a fantastic job. That Kickstarter, oh man, I think it was, don't quote me, but I think it was up there. It was like 166,000 maybe, but don't quote me. But I know the number was pretty significant, and that's for sketch cards and some trading cards and other stuff. But think about that. That's incredible. Like, there's people that's the collective power. Now, if we can just get people who collect comic books to get into it, then now we got something special. Now you got something really, really special. You know, I remember getting Wizard comics, and they would have like cards in them. Was it Wizard? I think it was Wizard. Was it Hero? I don't know if I'm confusing it with Hero. Maybe. Anybody out there, let me know. But I thought it was Hero, maybe, that did trading cards and stuff sometimes. Well, it could have been a Wizard magazine. I know they would give out these freebie kind of stuff, and that was really cool. Yeah, he had weird. He had this weird like ridge that went down right here. Like I say, you know, it's like it brought in a new fandom to the franchise, and that's always a huge plus. You know, I think that the key thing is looking at the overall. You know, what is the mission? What's going to come out of this? Yeah, I forgot he had those ridges. It's almost like his neck was almost like a cobra. Alright. And then I'll fill those in with the rest of the Oh yeah, and I'm actually gonna do one of my trademark things coming up. I always give people, hey, you know, it's Frankie B work when you get a small little helicopter in there, and it's true. I always put my little helicopters in it, and I blame it on Toho, man. I blame it on those early films, man, because you always see some kind of helicopter in there, and you know, it was a toy helicopter, we know that, but again, it almost felt like they had their own special design of helicopters. That's that time of where, you know, imagination, you know, where you know, you didn't overthink it, you just kind of went with it and said, okay, this is how it is. I think that's why I was able to really enjoy it, was because of that. All right, so I'm gonna throw a little helicopter in here. Now, and you know, you just create like a little generic thing. And that, the basic. Let's put it in there and boom. A couple little swipes and boom, boom, boom. Nice thick. And please, by all means, please feel free to share this post and stuff to people who you feel like might be interested. I know there's a lot of artists out there and stuff, and you know, if you're open to looking, of course, you know, I'm not expecting anybody to draw my style. This is my style, but you know, I always feel like when you look at other artists, maybe something will get sparked in you, and then you can go out and do your thing and create your magic. I remember going to Artist Alley back in the day, and I would always get so excited to see all the different styles and different approaches to art. I thought that was always a fantastic thing. Let me just do this. All right, let's see. There was a Godzilla sketch card set came out years ago. Oh man, and I think it came out like before I got into the industry, sketch cards and stuff. And Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing some of those coming, like, oh, my heart goes out. I'm like, that's the kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, I should have been on that. I should have been on that. Yes. And I was really hoping that they might even, someone might be doing a new one. You know, with the new Godzilla versus Kong. Alright, so again, for scale wise, you throw a little building in the front. So I don't mind doing that. And do a little building, get that in there. Boom. And then just draw like all the smoke and destruction and alright. So hopefully the plan is that I'm really hoping that we can get past the 2,000 mark on tomorrow. You know, we're so close. We're so very close. And you know, I'm really hoping that we can do this. But we can only do that with the support, with the help of those people out there. You guys who are watching this as well, you know. Let's do some silhouettes of these buildings. Silhouettes, excuse me. So there you go. There's another one. And again, go back. That's the back of it. And then the final one will be, and it's funny, and this is something that me and Matthew are going to have to discuss because it's so important that we kind of, you know, I think that every character in a book needs to have some kind of name because then it sort of makes it real. You know, it's like a real friend. Now they have like a name or something. And we've just been sort of giving these our kaijus just these sort of, you know, straightforward basic names, kind of, you know, like Ape Rhino Man or, you know, Ape Rhino Kaiju kind of thing. And it would be nice to give them some really, you know, that's one of the reasons why I love Mazinga Z was that you know, when they would do the Machine Beast, they would be like Machine Beast, you know, whatever, and then have this designation or something, some kind of name, something associated with it. So even these machines were characters, you know, which I thought was brilliant. Yeah, I like that we maybe give some names to some of these characters, but that's in time. Guys, let me know. What do you think about that? Do you think that every kaiju needs to have a name? This is the character that's in the. We've been posting it a lot, and you can go on the Kickstarter page as well. But that's the cover, the character that's on the cover, just getting, you know, blasted in the face by the hunter. It's a cool character too. When I was designing the character, I was thinking of an ape, but also I was thinking more of like baboons. You know, they just have such a distinct look about them, and the color and stuff like that. I thought it would be a kind of interesting kind of design, and so I started looking at some references of baboons, and I was like, oh, okay, I like that. I like the design. It's like a snout and stuff. It almost reminds me, if I was gonna say like a character now that it dawned on me, is that it reminds me of the creature that was in the crate in Creepshow. I don't know if anybody, hopefully people out there Ditzy Creepshow, the original Creep, not the TV series that they have. They have one now? No, is it? Yeah, they have a TV series, not that one. I'm talking about the original 80s Creepshow 1 film, which I remember going to the theaters to see that, and it was amazing. It was amazing. But there was a character. Was that the first? No, it was, right? Yeah, I think it was. It was in the first one. Okay, let me just make sure I get it right. And the creature, it was like a Tasmanian devil in a crate. And that's what it reminds me of now. Now I look at it, it has that kind of long snout and stuff. I remember that scene was amazing. And then it was scratching, like there's one scene where it just scratches dude's face and just mauls it off. An amazing practical effect too. It was really great. I think back then it was such a great time for many of these artisans to really flex their muscle and sort of think outside the box when they were creating characters and stuff like that for these films. They had to, because the technology wasn't there. We didn't have CGI or any of that stuff. All you had was like your skill set, your ability to be able to, you come up with a crazy idea and then say, okay, how do we make this work? This is where brushwork comes in. He has a lot of hair on his body, so not unlike another character, Frank Ungor, and John Freeman did and stuff. He's a cool character. There you go. Inside my mind, I'm trying to stop myself from making sound effects. Like, this guy's crazy. But that's what happens, my mind. That's the creativity kicking in. Like I remember as a kid, the fact that you start making sounds and you're actually becoming these incredible characters in your head. So he has like this plating. He's a mixture of a rhino and a baboon, and so. Alright. And again, I just want to remind everyone that this is really just a test. Well, it's sort of sample. I won't say test, but sample of the kind of work that I'm going to be doing. If you happen to choose the sketch card reward tier, this is the kind of card work I'll be doing for you. I think it's important. I think it's important that people get an idea of what they possibly can get. I think it's easy to be able to show finished artwork to people, but they also need to see, to make sure that that me being the artist, that I'm not going to be somebody that's going to flake on them and stuff like that. And that's not the case. Like I said, rep means everything. If an artist doesn't, your rep starts going to crap, then you might be in serious trouble. Okay. Good thing about characters like this, he's got this nice black hair and wispy and stuff like that, so that I can come in with the brush and just really taper off and get that all set. Alright, so I'm going with a little bit of foreshadowing and stuff like that. Foreshadowing, perspective on here, which is really getting really extreme. Okay, so let me do that little sign. I feel like the approach that we're going with, me and Matthew are going with this, is almost like I don't know, it's almost like Mobius, French, like the French kind of stories and comic stories, where it's just really sci-fi, if this was in like, I don't know, like heavy metal or something. Like, okay, this guy is, why are they in the West? Why did it have to be the West? And these KAIJUS that are running around and stuff like that. It's like that kind of story. Alright, so we got this. So you know what? I'm just gonna do single, like more broader windows. There you go. All right, it's about to smash it. Okay, get the little point out right there. All right, what time is it? Not bad, huh? Cranked out, not bad at all. Well, it helped that I already had like gestures done, you know, the gestures for it done. So he has like these, you know, this is that whole rhino thing where you get these pieces of areas that are like, you know, protective kind of, you know, armor and stuff like that. When I first thought this character, I thought of something that was super like agile. It's kind of funny, like when you watch King Kong, when I watched the King Kong and Godzilla, how agile he was, you know, and how that's a great asset. Like if you're fighting something, just sheer speed. And if you're physically strong to do, then there you go. That's how I kind of imagine his character. Okay. All right. Excuse me. All right. So, and then I'm going to draw a couple of, you know, it always helps to get a sense of scale, you know. So in the townships, you know, they have the, so there's a mixture. So it's, you know, there's going to be a mixture of technology in it. So it's not going to look, you know, almost like an old West town. There's going to be some buildings that look like they're old and whatever, but pretty much it's going to be high tech kind of stuff. I'm trying to find that middle ground of, you know, the aesthetic of that old West kind of feel, but then also the fact that yes, it is the future, and yes, there are robots, and yes, there's technology. All right, okay, all right, everyone. So let me just pull this out. So we got this, and we got this, and we got camera. Pull that down. Hopefully, you guys can see that. I'm gonna do a refresh. Drink a little water. Right. Okay. Actually, maybe I'll shift to a few more places. I'll wait a little bit and let's do this. All right, get a little bit more posting. Let's see. Okay. All right, time to get down to the inking process. So, all right, again, I'd like to thank everyone for hanging around. Let's see. I can't use you because you're brown. You're a brown one. Can't have that. Let's see what we got. All right, so let me get my weapons. Double check. All right, so I got some Micron pens here. So the Micron pen, I got the Tombow, Tombow pen. Also have my trusty Pentel Brush pen. Gets me out of a couple little scraps. And then I got my Signo gel pen. All right, so let's start with Gamera, since Gamera was the first one. All right, so I hope everybody can see it pretty good. All right, I'm gonna bring out my trusty Micron. You know what? Let me see if I can break open a new one. That one's getting a little feathered. I don't like that, so I'm gonna break open just one of the brand new ones. That happens. But what you have to do is you gotta just readjust and don't freak out or anything, you know? So, okay. That one's not working. Let's see what else I got. Now I may come in here with, this is a 001, but I may end up coming in with my 003s. That nice little bit of texture in there. I love this new design of Gamera. I really do. I think that they did such a tremendous job in the design and stuff. It really, oh. Okay, let's bump that up a little bit. This is why I have that white paper, this extra little sheet of paper underneath me, is that allows me anytime if it gets really fudgy a little bit, and I can use it to kind of get that stuff out of there. Now, I hope people get a chance to, you know, commission me by going through the Kickstarter that we have up there for KAIJUS and COWBOYS, which is in the post. The link is right there. Yeah, commission me. This is your chance. Chance to get, you know, original artwork. I almost wonder sometimes do people understand the value of original artwork? I know in this day and age of, you know, of collectability and what does that mean? You know, I always wondered that. Do you understand the value of art? That there is a value for it. You know, of course you have to like it, you know. But there's such a cool thing when you own something and you know that it's you the only one who has it. You know, like I could never replicate this actual drawing, and I wouldn't want to. You know, I would tell the person right off, like, no. I want you to be able to get something that's original as a collector. Unless you come to me and say, look, I want something that's a rip, then I don't mind doing a rip. Yeah, but you know, I always question stuff like that because it's like, you know, I would do a rip of something in advertising. It made sense in advertising. It doesn't make sense in collecting. When you're collecting something that's original, it just doesn't, in my opinion. You know, I feel like you should try to get something that's as original as possible, so that you can have bragging rights. You know, I don't know if you can have bragging rights if it's something that looks like it came from something else. Even people who, and I've done it too, was cover recreations, you can still see the differences, you know, especially if they're doing it after something else. You know, they're not trying to, or they shouldn't be trying to draw it exactly like how the artist did it. They should be putting their mark on it, and their mark should be evident, you know, just in the way the style is. Yeah. This ink is Oh, this Micron is not. You're not being nice today, are you? Look at you. You are not being nice. Look at that. It's pretty fun. Where's my people at? Are you out there? Last time I did one of these, it was just a lot of people. There was a lot of talking and stuff. I think Thursday is the official busy day, which is a good thing. If everybody's out there working and stuff, that's great. I think that's awesome. Good thing about these videos and stuff is you can always check them out later. And I'll definitely post it up on my YouTube page. Oh yeah, my YouTube link is in the post as well. So, if you're interested, please subscribe and take it from there. I'm always trying to tell people, I'm like, yeah, I've been around for a minute, They'll see my stuff and they'll be like, I guess in their mind they're thinking that I'm somebody just starting out. And I'm like, no, I'm not starting out. Here's my page. Check it out. And I get it because there's a lot of artwork that's being put out now, and it can be quite overwhelming. It's a lot of artists, just like writers, and so it's a lot of people out there putting stuff out. Like how do you showcase your stuff? What separates you? Therein lies the big question. All right, now I got something. I'm gonna get in here and bring out the old Pentel. Now I have two of these. I think I have a third one too somewhere. All right, this is the Pentel. Let's see. Actually, let me check it. Make sure I got enough ink in here. I want to make sure it's actually I get just enough in here before I have to change it up. That's cool. Now, just in case, if anyone's interested to see if there's any bleed, there's no bleed. And as I said earlier, this is a 32-point black edge cardstock from Iconics Digital Arts. And Karen's email is in the body of the post. Well, actually in the post, excuse me. So it's fantastic. Did a fantastic job. And this is the cardstock that I'm using for the inside the Kickstarter campaign. So you're getting pretty top quality cards right here. Sturdy, strong. There's not going to be any kind of bleeding through or anything like that when I apply the gray tones. And as I said earlier, the reward tier is for one character, a limited background, and they will be black and white. But I like to just stress that black and white to me is black and white with gray tone on it. If you're so inclined to have something in color, then after the campaign, you can definitely reach out to me and we can discuss an additional payment to cover the cost of full color. Because as you can imagine, full color is definitely going to take some time and stuff like that. So it's a little extra. We wanted to try to keep the rates and stuff inside the Kickstarter at a reasonable price. I personally love black and white stuff. So, people make a big thing about color, and it's kind of funny. Color's great, but black and white's really good too. Nothing wrong with that. I feel like the black and white gives it that, when you talk about sketch cuts, it gives it that nice sketch kind of thing. Boy, this thing is really sticking. Let me see. It's supposed to be a new one too. That's one of the things. Sometimes you get some of these Microns, and they just start acting up on you. Let's see how this one is. This one's flowing pretty good, so we'll just see. I'm not ready to trash that. I don't believe you need to get rid of it yet. You just got to kind of work with it. All right. So, one of the things about the cards that we're offering on the Kickstarter, is that it's KAIJUS and COWBOYS. Ideally, I want to be drawing. I would love to be able to draw, like if people commission me, the characters from the comic. I think that to me is more original and compelling. And it's part of this whole experience with the Kickstarter and stuff like that. But with that said, I'm open to doing other characters or KAIJUS and stuff like that on this card stock. If you're so inclined, if that's what you want, I don't have a problem with that. I had a great time doing some card art for Alternatives because you demanded it campaign, and some great original artwork got to go out. And it's funny because same thing. Somebody originally was just it was black and white, and then I had a person contact me and ask me about colors. I said okay. I said sure, and I did it in color. So there was one piece that I did in color, and it was nice. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I have to tell you, man, working on this cardstock is just unbelievable. It really is. It just holds ink. I can't express. Look how dark. Look how that's a solid right there. Like if I even try to erase anything on it, it's just it's gonna hold. This black ink is solid. All right. Let's see. I love this new the way Gamma is. His chest can open up. It's crazy. Isn't that crazy? All right, let's see what we got here. Been watching we finally caught up. Like we finished the Clone Wars animated series, and then we're now watching like Star Wars Rebels, and as well as the Bad Batch, and it's phenomenal. I have to admit, I just kudos. We did try to watch start off on Star Wars Resistance, and yeah, we really couldn't get through it. I didn't understand why they did such a huge shift with the animation, and it really took us out of it. I'm sure there's many people who do enjoy it and stuff, but for us, it's just we've reached that point, me and Jess, where we just kind of there's certain shows we just go, oh, we're good, and we just kind of move on. But I'm happy to say that Rebels is really really good show. Really enjoying it. Loving how the aesthetics of it is. Loving the team. Definitely characters that you can invest into. It's really good. And the Bad Batch is just we just saw that first episode and it just was mind blowing. Incredible. All right. I'll tell you one thing, this is not bad for black and white. Even if I didn't even put gray tones on it, I mean, it's just pretty intense right here. There's also that part of me where it's like, because people are taking the time to check out the campaign and that kind of thing. It just makes me want to be like, okay, I want to give 200%. I mean, I've already think about giving 200%, but I just want to make sure that what they get is going to be quality. That's a good thing to have. I think any person out there that is doing art or doing service and stuff, you want to feel like you're giving 200%, and even above that when you're doing work with, for something for people. I don't know anyone who wants to just be like, well, I'm gonna do just enough to sort of settle. To me, it doesn't make sense. That's not a good recipe for good quality service and just building your reputation. This is what happens. I have to admit, like once I get into the zone of drawing, then it's like it takes a life of its own. So I'm definitely prone for this. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these cards. That's the thing. These are actually pretty good, so I don't know if I will say that I got an auction that's gonna be doing an auction with Alterna on Saturday. So, but I don't know yet. I have to probably talk to Matthew and see if there's something where draw like Micron and stuff like that flying in the air. Try to imagine like when what's his name, when Rodan burst out that mountain, man, the lava. Oh, that was amazing. It was incredible. So happy. It's a great time right now for the fandom. It really is. I'm already seeing an uptick of like people putting out projects that are kaiju based. I mean, a lot of projects are starting to drop in the indie market, and it's just fantastic. That just shows that we're right in that mix. And I'm sure that our audience will be there. We'll slowly build it. People, the first key thing is that people have been responding how much they love the name alone. And that's always a good sign. It's like the same feeling that I felt with James Biggie when he was doing Robagata Kamatsu. The name just flowed off people's lips, and it just was like, oh man, and they were really enthralled by that. I had someone ask me about Robagata Kamatsu, and I just the reality is just that right now, I'm invested in this. And that's I'm sure anyone can understand that. You should be invested. If you got a comic book or whatever, you should be invested in that comic book. You don't want to stretch yourself too thin. That's one of the things I've learned over the years of working is that just making more work for yourself is not going to solve the problem. You should spend the time to really just work on what you already got in front of you and just make it better. And then once you complete it, then you can engage thought on other future things. Now I'm going to draw a little bit of fire and stuff here. That's okay. The flames. This is what happens when I'm starting to draw and everything. A good effect is you want to just put things in the foreground and stuff, and it's those little tricks in there, making sure that this thing that you're working on isn't gonna look too flat, so I'll throw a little wisp of fire and stuff. And then magma and stuff flowing. Just gonna show it kind of cascading coming off his legs and stuff. Okay, little buddy, let's see. Yeah, and then he has it like on the sides too, so. As I said before, it's good to have, reference. It really helps. All right. Hmm. All right, let's see. Let's see a little. Just show a little bit of like his other tooth over there, just to kind of balance it out. You know, it's necessary. Yeah, it's really. I haven't been looking at the our our Kickstarter that much, just because I've been working on other art for clients and stuff like that. But you know, Jess has been really excited about it, and she gives me little updates and stuff. And again, it just blows my mind that I can't believe it. Like tomorrow will be a week before we started it, and we're close to funding, like reaching the fund that we were asking for. Now, anything after that's going to be, just the extra stuff that to aid into the production of the series. Um, so, I'm very, very grateful, very humbled by it. The fact that people are really going out there and seeing people reposting, sharing it, and stuff like that. That's really cool. So funny, my arms are on fire right now. We've had a pretty intense, like we did stretching on Monday, and then we did some calisthenics on Tuesday, and then yesterday we had strength training. We did strength training, and I really took it to the max of what I could do, and I'm feeling it, And it's funny, we do has fit, and the coach on there, he's just like, it's working when you're feeling. It's true. My tries are on fire. They're on fire, but it's a good fire. It's not a bad fire. It's a good fire. All right. All right. Now you can see it's like I try to go around. Now I'm having second thoughts. I wish that I did the logo like in a rock or something, just because usually I'm good about that. Like I'll try to incorporate it into something and make it part of the scene and stuff. But that's okay. Something to think about. Any future commissions that I do on these. But I got my name over here, and I just have it traveling by on a piece of molten rock. It's almost like it's been broken open, and all of a sudden inside would be my name sketched down in there. FBW 21. All right. Okay. So it's almost like a piece broke off. That's what I'm going with. But as I said earlier, I mean, look at this. Look at the amount of, you're getting a lot of stuff into this card size, which is only like 2.5 by 3.5. I mean, it's art. It's art, people. And it's amazing art, And again, there's other tremendous artists, sketch card artists that are like, they're just pushing the envelope on the stuff that they're doing, which is fantastic, because that's what we're supposed to be doing as artists. As creative people, we should be pushing that, as far as we can go with what we're doing. You should, complacency. Don't get complacent. Put a little bit of shadow back here. Alright. Put a little bit of shadow underneath there. It's this point where I don't even want to color it and put the gray tones on it, but you know, I'm gonna do it because again, it's like something that I want to show you guys out there that are watching this, that for me, this is what black and white means. Black and white means, you know, you put gray tones on it and stuff like that, so that people. And again, this is the level what I'm thinking of. This is what I do for sketch cards. You know, so hopefully, you know, this can let you know that if you do decide to get a you know, back the reward tier, you get a reward tier on our Kickstarter, then this is what you're, the level of what you're most likely going to be getting. Yeah. That you are going to be getting. I won't say most likely. Sorry about that. That you will be getting. Because I take this stuff serious. Yeah. All right. Put some stuff in here. Let's see. Okay. All right. I'm gonna bring that down a little bit. I'm gonna come back in with some white and stuff just to hit it up. So now I'm gonna go for the 003. Put a little bit of, I'm gonna reload, get something to drink. It looks like it says I've been doing this for like an hour, so. See if I can bring that in just a little closer. Sorry about that. I want you guys to be able to see this, so. Okay. All right, let's bring that a little more, so there you go. Get a little closer. All right, so looking at my figure right here, he has like these little spiral indents on him. Sorry, Gamera. Give Gamera some love. So I'm just going to bring it in a little bit. Now, this is that point where I don't want to overkill. It's that fine line that many artists have to kind of remember. Don't go overkill. You only just need a little bit of, you know, indication just to get the idea that there's spirals and designs and stuff like that. And this is where I come in with the 003 and just give little hints, you know, not too much. All right. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Just little hits right there and there. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay. And that's it. Oh, actually, no, it isn't. Jumped the gun on that one. Sorry about that. And just draw a little bit in here and cover that down there. But It's a nice thickness on this card. I just want to say that. Nice thickness on it. You know, there's no bleeding. There's no bleeding or anything. Look at that. So the camera. So one down for now. That's one down. Let's see what else. All right. So I'm gonna do the Hunter because he's a character. I mean, the key thing is that the whole indie comic movement is that we really want to try to bring more eyes onto original concepts. You know, I'm not saying that we give up on the classic, mainstream characters and stuff, by no means. But I think that it's important that we as indie creators, just remember to bring some light. Like we should really be pushing to bring our characters out there so people can see them. This is the kind of stuff that that Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird did with Ninja Turtles, and then of course with Brian Pulido and Lady Death and Evil Ernie, and then of course the man himself, Todd McFarlane and Spawn. So we should work, all of us should work hard in trying to bring more eyes onto our creating our own projects and embrace it. And that's what we're going to be doing right here. Drawing our protagonists. All right. Yeah, what an interesting character. It's like you don't know how excited I am. I can't wait to start really, even in the zero issue, I got a chance to really lay out his scenes and how he uses his abilities and stuff like that, and it was really exciting. It was really exciting. Right. Okay, there we go. All right. Let's see. I think for me with this character, it's all about the eyes. It's always been a thing with my work, is that the eyes have always been a powerful thing for me in when I do characters. Getting that, the stare or the look. Okay, something like this. Now this is a very sensitive one. I have to break out my 003, which is a very small pen, but it is effective, especially with sketch cards. You can really get in there, and I'll like to just also tell you that on my glasses I have bifocals built into the lens for the lower sight, because I'm actually nearsighted. No, excuse me. I'm nearsighted, and I know I always get confused by it. So I have trouble looking far, like seeing images far away. But also I had to get these bifocal kind of lenses at the bottom of my regular, like, prescribed vision glasses, whatever. And so they're really useful. They really help, because then I can kind of, you know, it helps my eyes from not straining, which is important. I mean, one of the things we do now when working out is I've been doing a lot more yoga, like stretches and stuff, especially on my wrist and hands and stuff like that. So these things are important. They truly are, especially in the kind of field that us artists are, you know, creative people. It's like your back, all that stuff. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna hit this a little bit because there is a little bit of texture in his dreads or wire cable, and so just a little bit. That's what I mean. Like when I look at black and white stuff, I mean, this looks great. I mean, I love, you know, I tend to put, when I know I'm doing black and white, I tend to be, when I do color too, I'll take that back. Even when I do color, I tend to put a lot of stuff in there. So let's see. All right. And so he's technically just sort of tipping his head, kind of after he's killed this creature in the background. It's almost like one of those shots of like a Western after they've, you know, done whatever their deed was, be it man or beast. And just hit it with a little bit. Okay. And his hat kind of fills out into the back, kind of. It's a big hat too. It's definitely a long hat. Okay. Alright, so I think I'm gonna play around with his kerchief, extend it a little bit longer. Let me do this. All right. Oh man. Okay, let's see what we got here. Little hits, you know, because it has a if you look close up on his dreadlock wires, they're technically like what's the word? They're they have like a sort of crosshatched kind of effect. There's a name for it too, and I'm just drawing a blank on it right now. But if you saw it, people would be like, okay, that, you get it. But anyway, he has like a sort of effect on it and stuff. And, you know, trying to do that when it's so reduced, so small like that, it just, I feel it just muddies up the artwork. Let's see. A hint of that. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's throw a little bit back in there. Okay, like that. All right, let me throw a little bit of line weight right in here at the back. Feel a little bit of weight on his. Wish I could tell. Now, please feel free to comment. You know, I like to hear people's comments and stuff to see if you're in there. The way my phone is positioned, I can't really see if people are watching or not. I can only occasionally look over at my laptop screen to see if there's any communications going on and stuff. But you know, I appreciate it. Just let me know. Just say, hey, what's up, Frank? That's cool. Let me know you're out there. You know, I thought about this video too. You know, I was like, man, I said, because I was going through my head going, okay, you know, I really feel, and you know, I've purchased things off of Kickstarter in the past, and I was like, man, you know, it would be really cool if people can literally see an artist working on something that would be, alluding to the something that like on a reward tier for, you know, on the campaign. You know, like say, okay, we're going to do commission. Well, how's that look? What's that going to look like? You know, can you give us an idea, and so that they can make a more concise kind of, you know, whether or not they're going to jump on and actually say, okay, we're going to contribute to this campaign. That's my point. So I said, you know, I'm just going to go for it and do it. So this would be a sketch card as part of the reward tier on the KAIJUS and COWBOYS Kickstarter that's going on right now. And once more, the card is a 32-point black edge, and the name of the person who did it was the company is Iconics Digital Arts, and the person I dealt with was Karen, and her email is in the post. So if you're interested, which I really, really hope that more creators, especially comic book creators, go this route of creating sketch cards and stuff. And then if they're doing a campaign, offer it as a reward tier. It's a chance for people who want to be, you know, to contribute to a campaign to get some original artwork. And it's not really breaking the bank. You know, in our particular one, ours, the reward tier is for black and white sketch cards. So what you're seeing is technically what I would do. You tell me what you're looking to have done, and then I would, you know, draw it black and white. Same level of detail, similar to like what I just did right here, inking Gamera. And then I tend to, my black and white sketch cards, I add gray tone to them. That's how I call black and white, unless the person specifies and says no, we just like this black line art, you know, with the my cross hatching or whatever effects that I add onto it. And I'm like, okay, fine, that, you know, you still want that, then that's cool, you know, whatever. You have to let me know. But if you do want some color, then you're gonna have to, after the campaign is over and after it's done, then you can reach out to me via email, and you would have to pay me extra to do the colors, because doing colors it's a thing. It takes some time. So that would be a price separate from what the campaign is asking right now, and that could be a choice. There you go. So you at least have options. The idea came to me when I did some card art for the Alterna Comics Because You Demanded campaign a couple of months ago, and it was quite successful. And I got to work on a couple of sketch cards. And one of the people who got a card commission for me to work on contacted me and said, "Hey, look, could you do this in color?" So that was the only one that I did in color. That was fine, but it was cool. Now they have an original piece of artwork, and I think that's the key thing. So this character right here is the hunter, or the bot with no name. I mean, we're still going back and forth on what to really call him, but that's the working name that me and Matthew are going with. So the hunter and the bot with no name. And he's just got to kill. giving his, you know, howdy. Look what I did, kind of look on his face. That smile, that was something that I always loved the way Jet Jaguar's face was, because Jet Jaguar's face was almost in my opinion, you know, almost like the humanoid version of the Mechagodzilla, Mecha G1 from Terror Mechagodzilla. Or I think it was the same one, Mechagodzilla versus the Cosmic Monster. Boy, I tell you one thing, talking really drives your voice out, huh? All right, this is looking pretty good. And then the trench coat. I swear, like the way this character looks, it could be like something from, what was that? Those books from Britain, UK. Was it? I hope I'm not saying it right. 2000 AD. Yeah, 2000 AD. And if it did, was it like that? I would love if people said it. That would be such an honor, because I love those stories. You know, was it Judge Dredd, Rogue Trooper? You know, even the Captain Britain stuff. Stuff's amazing. I'm reading. Well, the reason why is like I'm reading this book right now about Alan Davis, and I just got past they did like this interlude where they spoke to, they interviewed Paul Neary. That was really fascinating too. Like Paul Neary is an artist as well, but he also did a lot of inking, especially of Alan Davis stuff and other people, and it's really phenomenal work and stuff. It's fascinating, the whole UK scene back then with art, you know, doing comic book art. Really fascinating. But if somebody was like, yeah, you know, it has that Rogue Trooper, or that not even Rogue Trooper, but that kind of feel of it, I'll be very happy. That'll be, man. But I feel like that's something that we'll just have to see once we get the actual, we get really, you know, sleeves rolled up, kind of like at that stage where we're cranking out, get like a couple of issues underneath us. In my mind, I just want it to be crazy. I want it to be something where, like, when I was watching the animes of Mazinga Z and stuff like that, and they just were just out there. Getter Robo was just out there. There's no restraint. That's one of the reasons why I've always enjoyed Japan in that sense. You know, films and even the animes and stuff like that. They're out there. Like, there's stories, there's stuff where you go, ooh, man. And it's beautiful. It's just really, really fantastic. And for me, that's what I want to try to capture. That's my personal agenda. A character that people can really root behind. But then again, there's that part where you go, well, what are they doing? You know, they're going down to this planet and they're killing these kaijus. What about the kaijus and stuff? That's the kind of stuff I want to kind of, I think, in trying to build a character. You know, the character's not an easy character where you can kind of explain what they are. You go, they're a little bit of this, they're a little bit of that. This is another thing too, and this harkens back to the old school, my love for super robots and stuff like that. When I was doing the concept art for him, I just wanted to make him as, you know, brutal in the sense where he has like these his knuckles have like studs on them. You know, so when he punches, it's just like boom, it just breaks into it and stuff like that. You know, he's pretty like hardcore. And he has other little gadgets too, but you gotta read the book. You gotta get the book. And again, the comic that's in the Kickstarter is an exclusive only to Kickstarter. I want people to understand that that's gonna be it. It's a 0 issue. It is not gonna be part of the actual series that will be dropping from Second Sight publication next year. So that's it. So if you get those, you go for the comic for the Kickstarter now. That's it. You're getting something that's special. All right. I have to say these cards really hold the ink really well. All right. Let's see. Yeah. How's that? How's that look? Okay. All right. So this coat kind of bellows out a little bit. Let's have it go down. Let's see. Okay, here comes the Pentel brush. Wow, I'm moving at a good pace, you know. I'm hoping like in like 2 hours I can wrap this up and stuff. And again, I just want to thank everyone that's come by to check this out. For those people that are just watching it and hanging out, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate it. I really do. You know, you could be doing 1,000 other different things on this channel, listening to an old schooler like myself, to me and my jams and my rants, talking about KAIJUS and all kind of stuff. Definitely feel free. You know, I love hearing from people too. This is the key thing. Is as you can imagine, I love hearing people come in and chat and share their thoughts and stuff like that. So by all means, please, you know, please do so. I'd like to hear from you. Okay, let's see, do this, a couple of lines. Alright, so now I'm gonna have it bellow out a little bit, maybe a little bit back here, and then we'll just draw some little lines, segment lines right there, just to kind of. And this is that part where it's really hard to explain why I do what I do, like when it comes to, like, you know, line work and the art, and it's like a natural kind of thing. I think this is that side of the artist, when you're working on something, that it's almost like it's almost like a feeling inside of you. Go, this feels right, and that's really tough to explain because every artist is different, you know. I always go back. I remember someone asked me that question, and I just was like, I don't know. I don't know how to really put it in words what it is. All right, so in this area right here, probably what I'm going to do is once I do this in black, then I'm going to probably put my name and everything using the gel pen. As I'm drawing this, it's almost like I'm on autopilot. I'm not really thinking too much about what's going on. I know that I won't, like, certain things have to be in here. So my mind just says, okay, just put this in there. And the key thing is trying to make sure that people can make sure they can understand what it is I'm putting in there. Right, like right here is, I want to give a sense that there's been a battle. So this creature that's back here is embedded like in rock, so there's this, you know, the ground or whatever. So I'll put that back here as well, so I have it like it's been cracked and broken and stuff like that. Now it's just subtle, you know. You don't but if you look at it long enough, you can kind of see it. And those are like little things that I learned. Again, Herb Trimpe was a huge influence for me, but John Byrne too. A lot of John Byrne's work is ugh, I don't have no words for it. It's just amazing. Right? Okay, I'm gonna refresh the page, see if anybody's dropped in. Feel free to say. All right. By my sheer nature, I've always been most people where like, if I was in the store or whatever, I saw you, I'd be like, yo, what's up? What's up? How you doing? What's happening? All right. Let me draw a little appendage right over here. Alright, so I have this kind of, I know it's amazing the amount of stuff that you can get in a sketch card. I think that's always been a challenge for me. Always, testing myself, saying, man, how much can I do in here? What can I get away with? And I'm just gonna draw this character. It's kind of bumps and swords and all kind of stuff on. All right. All right. All right, let's try to bring this Pentel Brush pen. Let's bring this up a little bit. All right. All right, there you go. Okay, let's put some shadows in here. Well, it's funny, when I used to look at John Byrne stuff, he was so great at just laying down these nice big blacks and stuff that fill up areas, and it's just fantastic. Alright, boom, 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 boom. And this, okay. And then there's the rest of the creature's body's like over here somewhere. I don't know, what time is it now? I'm thinking probably like around maybe 11:30. I might be able to wrap this up. And then I'm gonna draw some smoke, so technically it's like smoke come from here, maybe something really bad happened. I've never been a person, well, it's funny, I look at some of my early some of my early drawings, like when I was working on Brothers in Arms years ago, and my level of drawing gore and stuff like that, I can see has changed, because I don't know. For me, I remember I have the Batman book that Paul Dini did about the animated series, and the approach that they went in showing violence and how they would deal with it was really enlightening. It was something that you see in a lot of the noir films of, you say the what was it, the 1940s, 1950s, and stuff like that, where they used a lot of black and white. Even like the Twilight Zone is a good example, and just the ability to be able to show violence, but not really show intense, violence and that stuff, but to use shadows and stuff like that. That really intrigued me a lot. I just feel like that's the challenge, because the reality is that I want children, I want kids to be able to pick up the stuff that I do and have that same hopefully moment that I had when I first got my hands on a copy of Shogun Warriors, even a Spider-Man. I tell people it's Shogun Warriors, but actually my very first comic book was a Spider-Man comic. I see vague image of me going into the store that was in my neighborhood, and it was a store that was converted from a school bus into like this little store. And I remember the guy had a spinner rack in there, and it was Spider-Man, and I think it was my allowance or something. I ended up getting Spider-Man and stuff, and I was intrigued by it. I don't know which Spider-Man it was, but it just really intrigued me and stuff, and I think that was the start. But then really it kicked in for me when I ended up getting those comics at Child World and Dedham, my mom, and seeing Herb Trimpe's work for Shogun Warriors. That really changed it for me, because the Shogun Warriors represented something that I had that I enjoyed, these giant monsters and stuff. So cards 1 and 2 are done. Still hanging in there, not giving up. All right, so I already got 2 down. Now again, I just want people who've missed it, this would be, I'll flip it over. These are the sketch cards that we have right now as a reward tier on the KAIJUS and Comics. Excuse me, KAIJUS and Comics. KAIJUS and Cowboys Kickstarter. Oh man. And by me and Matthew Blair. And it's a reward tier, and what I'm doing is I'm going to be doing black and white sketch cards. 1 character, 1 environment. So this is what I would consider 1 character, and limited environment. Even this would be considered that. And technically what I do is I add gray tone to it to flesh it out a little bit and give it a little bit of form and stuff. And then that's a black and white from that's a Frankie B black and white. Now after the campaign, if you want color and you're really adamant about it, then by all means you can send me an email, and it's going to cost you a little extra to have the color, like actual hand colored down on it. But that's something that, again, that's up to you if you decide to go that route. But anyway, these are our official KAIJUS and Cowboys sketch cards, and as you can, and they're made of 32-point black edge, which is pretty good thick card. This is a pretty sturdy card. There won't be any bleeding coming through here, even if I use markers and stuff on it. So it's pretty sturdy. I could write my name back here, or I can write the name of the character that I'm drawing. And then usually I'm gonna sign this one too. I'm gonna put sign it with my white gel pen and stuff. But anyway, this is what you'll be getting, and this is the reason why I'm doing this video, is I wanted to showcase the level of what the sketch cards will be. All right, so on to I got 2 more left. So I just did Him the Hunted. So now I'm gonna do a little fan favorite. This is Godzilla 2000. And as I said earlier, I kind of got out of the Godzilla series for a little bit. I guess this would be called the Millennium Age of Godzilla. I was more the Showa, and then the Millennium came, and then the Gamera Legacy films came out, and they really drew me back into the KAIJUS. And as I said before, again, this was more of just a sense of taste. I personally felt the Millennium Godzilla work Actually, that whole argument when people talk about like Showa era and stuff, and the fact that they were, men in suits and stuff like that, I actually felt that the Millennium era looked more like sets. Like there was no sense of trying to get away from the fact that yes, this is you're seeing something that's already on a set. They weren't trying to hide it. It didn't look real to me, Whereas with the Showa era, they were trying to make it look real with the effects that they could do at that time. And that's what I appreciated the most, was that the attempt that they were trying to do, and that made it really fun. And the storytelling and the music just all came together. Once the Millennium Age came, there's a lot of experimentation with the filming and stuff like that, and it just wasn't my flavor. So I kind of just got out of it. And then lo and behold, Gamera came out, and Gamera actually was a great, for me, in my opinion, was a fantastic elevation of the technique, the technology, everything. Storytelling was fantastic. They did things in that Gamera movie where I never even thought of. Like the whole aspect that Gamera was biomechanical. I never thought of that. When I watched Gamera movies, I was just like, oh yeah, he's a turtle. There was no sense of just that extra level that they added in there, which was fantastic. So I'm a huge fan, and then that brought me back. And then again, I started watching some. I even saw the Final Wars, and it is what it is. I felt that they did what I felt they were trying. The directors were trying to capture that magic that Destroy All Monsters had, and it is what it is. That's all I can say on it. It's definitely not a movie that I own. But I do own Destroy All Monsters. I dream of a day where we can see Destroy All Monsters, especially with the way the MonsterVerse is and stuff like that. But again, I'm a realist. When it comes down to business, I am surprised that Toho has been really opening, loosening up their grip on their IPs and stuff. It's been a shocker to me, but it's been a happy shock, and so that's been a huge surprise, and I'm very happy to see that. I'm happy to see that Ultraman is starting to get, is making some way into the Western market and stuff. So, I just want to keep coming. I just want to just more and more stuff, because the thing about it is that it just helps what guys like me and Matthew are doing, and other indie people that are into the fandom and who want to do these kind of stories. It's not about trying to replace superheroes, because that's impossible. That's not going to happen. Or replace fantasy. That's not going to happen either. Or even horror. That's not going to happen. Or the fact they're trying to do something that's, manga America. That's not going to happen either. I think that manga has its own foothold. I think that there are some tremendous artists that, and I'm saying this is for the artists that truly get manga, because I think that just like with superheroes, and just like with kaiju stories and things like that, there are people that get it, and I think there are people who that think they have an idea of what it's about, and unfortunately, they probably need a few more years to really grasp what the whole thing is about, and that's okay. The trick is, are they willing to live and learn? Like, you do the experience and then say, okay, I gotta learn more stuff. I'm not ready yet. So I think that's a lot of that kind of stuff going on out there. But overall, yeah, you won't hear me. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not that kind of person who sits there and paints a broad brush on things that are out there. I think one of the things about it is that I've been on the other side, worked in production studios, and I've been on the other side, and the work that many of these artisans are doing is tremendous work. Tremendous. And, as much as people want to believe that somehow one person is in that kitchen, there's a lot of people, a lot of things going on behind the scenes. And so, the key thing is that they're trying to do their job, and they're trying to make something happen. And
you know, fingers crossed, they hope that they get close to what they're envisioning. And that's a lot to be said. So, you know, I have a lot of respect for them. You know, if we get anything that comes even close to what the vision is, that's a huge like score. All right. So that's just my thought on that whole thing. You know. All right, and as usual, this is one of my tropes is
My trying to sneak a little helicopter in there. This is my love for the old school. Excuse me, the old school Showa era stuff. Let's see how his legs are.
They always had a helicopter. Always, and I love that. Yeah. I guess for me, it's not, for me,
If I don't agree with somebody
on something, then I'm like, okay. That's the whole point is that, you know, everyone has different flavors and different, you know, tastes. So I just know that I'm not going to be that voice that's going to try to paint a broad brush on things and be like, okay, well, I just hate this kind of thing. And then, you know, you go on a tirade of just preaching it and stuff and trying to destroy somebody's the work, trying to destroy. Well, I find it always in a weird kind of sense of is the agenda to try to destroy the experience for other people, to make it so, you know, to try to paint a brush of, you know, that this thing is so horrible, whatever. It's just, that's so odd to me.
I don't want to do that.
I want people to have their own experience, you know, and they should. Everyone should have their own experience to whatever they want to watch. You know, something that somebody that I may like, definitely somebody's not going to like. And that's okay. That's the whole point. Go through the customary building right in front. A little bit of freehand in the building. Yeah. I blame advertising on this one. Working in it, just like, you know, because of speed-wise, you know, you can't sit there and labor over it too long. You know, as I said in previous videos, it's all about, like, you know, we got to get this piece out, you know. Make it good enough and make it good, and it is going to be good. I think that's the other key thing. It's not bad work. I'm just not one of those artists where I labor over stuff too much. If I do labor, then, you know, it's going to be a piece that's like, you know, well, you know, like there's some pieces, I just wrapped up 2 pieces that took me a few months just because of, you know, just work and of course the Kickstarter. And so, yeah, you know, it's very happy. It's a very rewarding moment to be able to show the pieces off to the people that they're intended for. It's always a rewarding experience. All right, let's see what we got. Let me put the shadow in here. Sorry about the little hum in there. I just want to say thank you again for just hanging out, you know. And again, as always, feel free to chat. Let me know. It's so important. You know, we as human beings, we need to keep communicating with one another. So what if someone doesn't agree with me? That doesn't bother me. It's not gonna set me on some rampage and whatever. I just go, okay, you don't agree with me, fine. I'm not gonna lose my mind over it. It's okay. The whole point is, my mission is not to go out there and try to convince people about anything. You know, all I can do is tell you about what I, you know, whatever it is. Like, again, with KAIJUS and COWBOYS and stuff like that, and you know, all I can do is tell you what feel, and what we're trying to aspire to, and then either you look at that and say, okay, that's something worth looking at, or not, you know. All right. So right now, this technique right now, see, one of the things about Godzilla, which is awesome. Let me just say that, which is fantastic and awesome, especially when I'm drawing some different versions of him, is that I love the fact of, like, he has so much texture on his body that times like this, when you use a brush or whatever, you can just really just come in and just really add that texture in. You know? I don't know how you can really make a mistake with Godzilla's texture. I've seen various different techniques with brushwork on when people doing the texture on Godzilla's body. If you get really close up ones, yeah, some people put scales on them or whatever. I think that's why I really enjoyed the Herb Trimpe run on the Godzilla, the Marvel Comics Godzilla back in the 80s. You know, I love the fact that he did not try to, you know, be accurate in how Godzilla looked. I thought that was a brilliant move. You know, I think that by creating that look for Godzilla, that style, it made a different Godzilla than the one that was in Toho. You know, it was like I was able to look at that Toho Godzilla and say, okay, that's Toho's Godzilla, but this one's a Marvel Godzilla. That Marvel Godzilla fit in the Marvel universe. And it was so different. Like that Godzilla, I mean, in the Godzilla, I'm actually gonna add a little white in there. Actually, here, I'll do it right now. I'm so impatient. That Godzilla literally was like punching and doing all kind of crazy stuff, you know, which was really cool, you know. One of the things that I always admired about the Showa era was that Godzilla would scrap, like physically. There was the Millennium Godzilla, in my opinion, there was that point where he got so big. And I think that's why, in a certain degree, I had issues with Shin Godzilla, for instance. I'm going to do a little refreshing. Which I've only watched once. And I think I'm going to watch it again, just to get some more clarity on it. But the issue that I had with it really was just the fact that, again, Godzilla is like this towering creature and stiff, you know, and able to shoot off rapid beams of light and destroys, you know, thousands of ships and whatever. And it just, there has to be movement. You know, one of the things that I've enjoyed with the new Godzilla from Legendary is that this Godzilla harkens back to the Showa era Godzillas. You know, where Godzilla got injured, Godzilla would be hurt, Godzilla would have to heal, you know. Godzilla wasn't this unstoppable force, you know, that it actually felt pain and stuff like that. So now I can really embrace this character and feel for this character, have some kind of emotional connection with this character. I felt like with the Millennium stuff, I was losing that connection because he was just way too powerful, way too big. It was almost like the same thing with the Godzilla anime series, not the new one coming out, but the one that was previous, where when you watch it, there's fascinating aspects about it, but then again, the major thing I go back to is that you now made Godzilla so powerful. I know why you're using CG, you know, computer generated stuff, but he's just immovable. He's just this massive mountain that just fires off these powerful beams that can devastate worlds, you know. And I don't know, I don't find that engaging. For me personally, I just shut off to it. I just go, oh, okay, you know. And again, I sit back and I go, well, Frank, you know, I'm glad it's being done. That was my honest opinion. I was like, I'm glad it's getting done. That means that at least Netflix is you know, took the chance to do this, and that because of this door, now other doors are going to open. And again, I finished watching. I watched Pacific Rim Black, which was phenomenal. And then I'm looking forward to eventually when Godzilla Singular comes out. So yeah, I think that's one of my major reasons of why I sort of got out of the whole Millennium era stuff. There were a couple of movement times that even this Godzilla right here, Godzilla 2000, do some movements and stuff, but it really feels like a set. It really, like, you look at it and it goes, that's a set.
you almost swear that you can see wire work going on. And that's not what they were trying to do back then with the earlier Showa era stuff. They at least were attempting to try to make it look like, you know, use shots, real images and stuff like that. They would intertwine them in there. At least there was an attempt that they were trying, and that they were being limited by technology. And that's what made it even more compelling to me, because the thing is that look what they're capable of doing with, you know, just with what they had right then and there. And you try to imagine what would happen if they did have that technology. It would have just been out the roof, man. It would have been crazy, especially during that time, the Curious music and I can't even to think about it would be phenomenal. I'm gonna do a little bit of, yeah. That's the cool thing about doing Godzilla, is that he has so many of these scales and stuff, and you can just come in and just add little blacks and stuff, and there you got it, a little texture. Just trying out. Let's see. Oh, still got enough ink in it. Still hanging in there. All right. What time is it? Oh, 10:30. I think I'm doing pretty good. Wow. I said like roughly around 11 or 11:30. So we'll see. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right. Let's see. Another thing that I'm pretty excited by is the fact that I'm starting to see a lot more artists that are out there and they're just, you know, doing videos similar to this. I think that's really good. That's encouraging. You know, I think it's good for other artists to sort of, you know, let their guard down and kind of, you know, showcase what they're capable of doing. It's very important, especially now. You are your own brand. You know, that's my motto. The only way that you can really get stuff out there is you gotta take the time and really just kind of push and promote yourself. But it has to be something where you're showcasing what is your skill and talent. Don't just say, come look at my page or whatever, because I always find that kind of like, yeah, it's a kind of rude thing. It's almost like a level of arrogance, like you're that good that somehow people should just drop everything and go to your page and look at it. You know, especially when you're not well known. That's a really I would suggest not to do stuff like that. And the thing is that, you know, it's okay to have some humble pie and just be like, okay, I'm new to this and whatever. And hey, did this just repeat itself? Oh, let's see. Let's see. Do we get any new ones? No, I guess not. I think I got some duplicates on these. Oh, I guess I like this one. Let's see this. Alright. And again, the whole purpose of this video is just to showcase that this is the kind of cards that we are offering at the Kickstarter that me and Matthew Blair have right now, currently up it. And we're so close to actually getting it funded, and hoping that we can do this miracle in a day, hopefully, you know, by tomorrow, because we actually started the Kickstarter last Friday, and so now it'd be like a week, and it'd be nice to put that in there. So then anything else beyond that would just be additional for the production of the actual series.
And the 0 issue, let me just remind everyone, is that this will be the 0 issue, which was only available on the Kickstarter, on this Kickstarter. So it won't be available any other place. And we're both excited about the series. Matthew's got the story kind of structured out and stuff. And then I'm already going through some character concepting, so yeah. And we have a publisher. Our publisher will be Second Sight Publishing, which is in which the book will be out next year. So all right. Right. All right, let's see. Nope, small one. It's way too small. This is 003, Frank. Come on. 003. Sounds like I'm doing, I don't know if anybody remembers that Cyborg 009. Oh, an amazing anime, amazing manga. Just incredible. I'll clean that up a little bit, but there you go. Put a little bit of. Anytime people say black and white, man, black and white is amazing. As you can see, you can still have that opportunity to get original artwork. It's right here. I'm showing it right now. This is what a sketch card, you know. And if you do decide to start collecting sketch cards, I would suggest getting an Ultra Pro. What do I got here? Ultra Pro album, collector's album. It's small, you know. If you got like a bookcase or whatever, you just put them right in, and it's just wonderful. I mean, I am very happy to see so many indie publishers, comic publishers, are implementing sketch cards into their campaigns, their crowdfunding campaigns. You know, it's something that's just needed. I mean, I think that it adds a little bit more extra. It offers the people who are contributing a chance to own original artwork, which is always great as a collector of original artwork. That's me. I said that's a fantastic thing, because you just don't know. You just don't know who's going to be the next whatever. You don't know what's going to be, what project's going to be made. No one knew about the Ninja Turtles. It wasn't like that was like foreseen. It just happened. And what happened is anybody who end up, you know, just by the just sheer chance of just getting any original artwork from Kevin Eastman or those guys, they're very happy campers. Unless if they still have it, then, you know, but if they ended up selling it even years later, they were possibly capable of making a nice chunk of change out of that. You know, because that's the thing about art, you know, it definitely can gain its value depending on the person. You know, but again, that's you know, you roll the dice on it. You know, there's many times that there has been you know, creators and stuff, you know, that started off. You know, I still have artwork from various creators that I saw when I went to San Diego Comic-Con. Purchased. I still got artwork from that time. Got some pieces. And those creators worked years later. Worked on you know, for the big guys. So okay, here we go. Third one. Whew. Feeling it. And it's 10:43. All right, let's see. Lance Brown, you can choose any kind of character you want. I just looked in and saw some other posts. So after I finish this, I'll have to go through all the other posts and I'll respond. But if you're watching it right now, I said before, you know, you can. The reason why I did these characters right here, like I did our character, the hunter,
or the bottle name is just because, you know, it is our character. And ideally, you know, since it is our comic book and since we're indie creators, we would love for our character to get out there, and we want other people to sort of get used to this character, and it just grows. That's our agenda. But if somebody comes along, and if you end up getting one of the reward tiers, especially with the sketch cards or the commission, and you say, Frank, you know, we love KAIJUS and Cowboys, but would you mind drawing Godzilla or Gamera? Then I'll do it. Yeah, I have no problem with that. The name KAIJUS means KAIJUS, you know. If someone says Cowboys and they say, can you draw Clint Eastwood or whatever, I'm not really known for my drawing like actual, you know, people and stuff like that. I mean, I could, but I'm not, you know, that's not I wouldn't say that's my foray, my strength, but I'll do it, you know. It'd be in the Frankie B style, but, you know, but if somebody said they wanted a cowboy, you know, Lone Ranger or somebody like that, then sure, I'll do it. Yeah. I mean, I feel that you have, if you contribute to this campaign and get that reward tier, then, you know, I can follow through and draw something, you know, that you'll like in my style. Let me just stress that again, because I think sometimes, yeah, see, I'm always catching little things. Sometimes I think that when people hear the term artist, and I think it's a wonderful thing, they feel like artists can do multiple different things. Like they'll be like, yeah, you're an artist, so you can do oil painting and you can do all this stuff and whatever. And no, I think the thing about being an artist is that we all specialize in a certain skill set, and we all have a certain style. And the thing is that you have to be competent as a client, and also as somebody that is going to potentially hire someone to do art, is that you really have to be into their style. You know, if you really like their style, then that's what you should be going after. Having them try to emulate somebody else or whatever, that might cause a little hiccup. So just be conscious of that. So yes, if anybody is interested in having me do King Kong or Godzilla on this cardstock, I have no problem doing that. Since it is our cardstock, we're being represented anyway. Every time you flip it over, it'd be KAIJUS and Cowboys. So our brand, the brand is out there anyway. So if you really want to have like Godzilla, Kong, or whatever, fine, not a problem. I do not have a problem with that. And I'll definitely comment after I complete these up. And to anyone out there that has been commenting on different posts, I forgot that I had been sharing this into other different groups and stuff. So maybe that's why people aren't on. I'm looking at my main page and I'm not seeing comments, but I'm seeing comments on other groups and stuff, which makes me feel really good, because people are definitely checking it out and stuff. So that makes this old man smile a little bit. The smile get a little bit more brighter. So thank you very much. So anyway, come on. Let me see if I can do this. If I can bust this out. All right. Finally, this is one of our KAIJUS, and he is like as I explained earlier, the way Matthew is explaining KAIJUS to me, sending them to me, he pretty much will be like, you know, like, let me see, best way. Oh, before this guy, it was like an ape and a rhino. That was his first, that's how he explained it to me. And then I pretty much was like, oh, okay, all right, you know. And so I started, you know, I did some looking, did some Googling and stuff, and I had some animal books, and then I said, I don't know, I was sitting in my, thinking about it, and I said, I don't want to have, you know, King Kong, you know, that was my thought. I was like, I don't want to do a King Kong or whatever. But I started looking at baboons, and I was really like, man, I like the way these baboons are looking, you know, especially the color setting and all that stuff. So I decided to go with the more baboon, and took that sense of an elongated face. This character also, one of the things about our KAIJUS is that we've been trying to develop a sort of look for the KAIJUS in our universe that we've been doing, and the traits of many of these KAIJUS are very similar to the KAIJUS that we were doing in Team KS1, which was a short story that appeared in it came out on the Wednesday anthology series through Alterna, and so that I'm bearing that in mind. So that's another little tidbit right there. I'm a big stickler in consistency.
You know, I think that it's great if you start building up on a universe and then you stay kind of consistent with designs and stuff like that. I think it's really cool, and I think people genuinely like that. You know, you don't want to start creating like massive multiverses and stuff and whatever. So the kaijus that are in this story they bear some semblance to the kaijus in some other stories that we've done. So just that's a little tidbit right there. But yeah, Matthew kind of is pretty much he's like, well, Frank, you know, he gives the basics of what the character, you know, what he's looking at, you know, as a suggestion, and then I kind of just fly with it. I keep saying we have almost a Jack Kirby and Stan Lee kind of relationship. Although Matthew's much more mindful of you know the stuff that you know I do and whatever. He definitely is. We'll discuss stuff. You know, we had an actual cool discussion. I can't share it though, because that's the key thing. I am not going to be giving out any tidbits about what's happening, what's potentially going to be popping up in the actual comic book series, because that's not fun. I'm not going to be doing that. We want you guys to be able to be excited and when you purchase a copy. So none of that, but we definitely got some ideas that are going. And that's what a good team does. You know, we'll bounce an idea off one another and then see what happens, and then hopefully we can come to some level of compromise on it and then move forward. It's important. That means that you have a solid, good team. You know, could you imagine being a fly on the wall when Jack Kirby and Stan Lee were, you know, trying to figure things out? Boy, it would have been really fascinating. All right. So anyway, this is the kaiju that you actually see in the for the cover, and this kaiju stands at, well, when he's crouching, when he's crouching, he's 26 feet tall in height. So when he's crouching down, but at standing, he's around 35 feet. That's another thing too. We definitely conscious of the levels of size wise with our kaijus. But not to the point where it's going to be like so, you know. I'm just not one of those people where, you know, I don't want people reading it and feeling like you have to, like you're in school, like you're you know, like there's going to be a test after, you know, after class, after reading our comic, and it's like, well, how approximately big was the kaiju and blah blah blah. No, because I never had that a test when I read the Shogun Warriors or when I read Godzilla or whatever. There was never a test going on and stuff, and I just don't think that comic books should be about that. Comic books should be fun. Comic books should be exciting. It should be sheer escapism. Literally, like I want people to read it and get transported for how many pages? I mean, 20, 22 pages, whatever. You should be transported into that world that the creators want you to go. And then once you finish it, then you come back. You come back to the real world. You come back to the real world of bills and whatever things that are going on in your life, you know. But I want sheer escapism, and that's something that I've stressed with Matthew. I said what would be the reason to even do comics if it's not escapism, if it's not entertainment. It has to be entertainment. You know, and entertainment to me is, you know, these giant creatures and, you know, and his character and what's his journey and what other potential other characters, what is their journey, and then what's going to be the final thing or whatever, if we ever get to that point. I will say that if everything goes to plan, which I know it will, this will be one of the, actually, yeah, I would no, maybe I'm just thinking out loud that, no, I was thinking like this would be the longest comic book that I've ever done. Yeah, I think that this would be the longest comic books, like a series, because even if me and James had taken Robot God Akamatsu and had not done a graphic novel, it was technically little like 6 pages. Like, no, 6 pages, excuse me. Duh. It was like 6 comics. albeit it was a lot of pages, extra pages, so it would have been like 6 pretty big comics. But yeah, it was roughly like 6 comics, maybe 6.5, like a mini comic also. But yeah, and that was it. And then the webcomic series that how me and Matthew first met, The Secret Lives of Villains. Who knows? That, I mean, I think before we stopped working on that, I stopped working on that. That was up to like, I don't know if it was up to 300 episodes. So who knows? I mean, those were like 3 panels, like comic strips. So if we were to add them up in the like actual comic book format, sort of like what they did with Powers, I mean, which that could be kind of cool. You know, that's another thought too. But hey, we'll have to, you know, we don't want to put the cart before the horse. But it would be kind of nice to revisit, or maybe get that done into more like a comic book format. I mean, he did it for Powers. You know, when Powers first came out, that was a big thing. They were like, "Oh man, this was a web comic," and then they transformed it into a comic book. But yeah, I'm curious to see. I'd be really curious to see how many comics, like floppies, you could get out of that, because it was a lot. And then there was a guest artist too that came in and did some pages when I couldn't, you know, I had other stuff going on. So yeah. So me and Matthew have a strong history together, working together. And now this is a you know, KAIJUS and COWBOYS is pretty much our. I'm treating it as this is the big stepping board off. Because there's a part of me where it's also like a redemption swan song for me. I'm taking it very personal in the sense that, you know, when Robot God Akamatsu came out, we had such a lot of fanfare and stuff, and there was a lot of enthusiasm for the concept. But unfortunately, you know, just because of things, personal things, and whatever, it just we just couldn't follow through. And then eventually, you know, we didn't have a publisher anymore, and so on and so forth. And so it lost its momentum. That's my point. And the thing about it is, this time around, I don't want to see that. I don't want to lose any momentum. I want to, and I know this is it's not going to lose momentum. It's going to fly. The feeling of this book, and just to the campaign and stuff, it feels way back, like back in 2013 when Robot Akamatsu was really out there. It has that same kind of feeling, which is really good. Because I mean, that's the key thing. You want people to be excited, to be like, okay, we want this. We want to check this out. We want to see this. So I'm excited by it, and that's what you want. You want your creators and people working on stuff to be excited. That when they start working on these things, they're like, oh yeah, man, I can't wait. But anyway, there you go. Oh, let's see this guy. He's a cool character. I mean, even after watching what happened with Godzilla and Kong, whew, the movements, man. I'll be honest with you. This is another me keeping it real. I told my wife Jess about it. I said, Jess, honestly, I want to see more Kong. Like, I want to see more of like the Hollow Earth. Like, what is there? Like, I like Godzilla. I love Godzilla actually, but I literally want to see more of the Kong universe. I'm really hoping that that's what they delve into. Maybe even if Legendary is so emboldened, like, start working on some of their own creator-owned creatures, and start elaborating up on their stories and see if you can start building stuff. I'm kind of hoping that's the plan. Because again, you know, as much as we fans, we love Godzilla, stuff like that, that IP is owned by somebody else. And it costs these companies a lot of money. And in negotiations too, to try to, you know, utilize them. And I can see that with some of these companies, it's like, it probably, you know, it probably helps them if they have their own create-own stuff. You don't have to worry about it. You technically are keeping 100% of your profit. And we have to be realistic. This is about profit. I mean, movies cost a lot of money to make. It's not cheap. You know, if you're not looking at it in a sense of, you know, making money, then I don't know. That's, you know, for that few minutes, of just seeing battles and stuff like that, even in CGI and whatever. In fact, that's a lot of money. So I hope that people bear that in mind. You know, I always see people in this mentality like, boy, I really hope, you know, Toho such and such. But it's like, for me, there's that moment where I go, yeah, but boy, check out, I wonder how that meeting's going. They're sitting there going, man, you know, how much are they going to be asking this time for us to, you know, rent their IP? That's why it's very important. I love the fact that a lot of indie creators are coming out of the woodworks and they're doing their thing. I think it's important. This is kind of like how the underground comics movement was back in the 60s and into the 70s and stuff. You know, just people just putting out their stuff. And again, that's the whole thing where I think many artists and writers too, they get into their own heads and they start just laboring over the thought. You know, like, you know, well, should I put this out? When I grew up, when I would see some of these comics and stuff like that, these people weren't questioning other people whether or not they should put something out. They just did it. You know, I can't imagine what's it? I know I'm gonna say their name so wrong. The Pennies who did Elf Quest. Could you imagine? I couldn't even imagine them sitting there going, well, let me just run this through, you know, a bunch of people to see whether or not we should do Elf Quest. I don't see that. And I remember reading some of the stuff about it where they just did it. They went out and they were like, oh, I got this story and I'm gonna do it. And they just did it. And I think people have to understand, there comes a point where you just gotta kind of you just gotta do it. Because if you look at the amount of time you're sitting there just talking and laboring over that's just eating up time. In a breath of like a month, there's gonna be at least a dozen other new stuff coming out. And that stuff's gaining more momentum each and every day that you're just laboring there thinking about whether or not you should follow through or do something. You gotta really look at it like, just do it. And stop trying to worry about trying to be too perfect and all this stuff and whatever. No. Just do it. Just do it. That's the last thing that goes to my mind. Alright. This is a John Byrne. You know, it's weird. I wonder if other artists are like me. There's sometimes when I look at my hand, my skin and stuff, and I'll have like ink in places where I'm like, how did this thing get here? I'm like, I'm drawing that fast that I'm like drawing on myself and missing it. Like, how did I get there? It's like mystery. I lost my thought. I lost what I was thinking of. Yeah, look at you, huh? You're pretty bad. You just leave it up there. Me and my sound effects are starting to creep in. So I'll just say it one more time, just in case, because I know some people might have missed it. If you go for the reward tier, our Kickstarter I posted it, the link in the header post. If you decide to get a commission, like sketch card, like what I'm doing right now, this right here, this is technically what you'll be getting. You know, this would be, I do a black and white. It's gonna be for black and white, one character in some environment, so you can see some environment. And what I call black and white, I actually afterwards I'm gonna go over this slightly with my kneaded eraser, try to erase a couple of lines, and then I'm gonna put use some Copic marker grays, and it's just gonna be a nice gray tones on certain areas and stuff. And then that's it. And to me, I think that's pretty cool. Now, if that doesn't work for you and you are really adamant about having something done in color, then that's going to be something where after the campaign is over, you're going to have to, you reach out to me, email me, and I'm going to charge you a fee to do the coloring on the art. So I just want you to be aware of that, because doing full color is a lot more, to do. And if you don't mind that, then that's great. I did that before for a couple other campaigns and stuff like that. And, I put it out there, and I had some people who took up on it because they wanted to see the stuff in color. And I was like, okay, I understand. But, the thing is that if you are really, really stuck on wanting to really get like color, then sure, no problem. And also, I am not against the fact of if you want me to be drawing other characters or whatever. Maybe if you even want me to draw your own character. But if you want me to draw your own character, and it happens to be a kaiju or whatever, then you're gonna have to give me supply me with images of your character, and really good images. I've spoken in many different videos that it is really important that if you want people, if you have a character and you want people, say artists, to work from it, then I would suggest that you get someone, hire someone to do good character sketches. Preferably, they don't even have to be super fancy, as long, or you can, just something that can give a good translation of what your character looks like and what your character has on, or weaponry or whatever. Just something that should be like mandatory. Like before you think of even hiring somebody to do your sequential art, you need to hire somebody to do character design. You know, solid character design, because solid character design is going to be the key thing. Because again, like to say hypothetically, you know, say if you create something and there's some interest for it and whatever, what do you think is going to happen? Even if you wanted to even get into doing your own toys and stuff, somebody's going to come along and be like, well, we need art for the sculptor, you know, to do sculptures or whatever, you know. Or say if you want to get a guest artist, you know, do a variant. You don't want that artist to have to be sitting there and trying to think or try to figure out how your character looks. You know, that's the worst thing, you know, to be like, because I've been in that situation where it's like, I've looked at stuff and I'm going, man, and it's like, and I'm just like, it's killing me, because that's something that bothered me back in the days of, say, into the 90s with Marvel. Because I'm a huge fan of the Marvel handbook, the handbook of the Marvel universe. I have a couple of them squirreled away, and also the bigger ones. And I'm just a stickler on just, you know, these books said that characters should be a certain height and a certain way and whatever, and this is what they should be. But unfortunately, when we started getting into the 90s and into the 2000s, it seems like they literally took those books and just said, oh, we don't need them. Don't need them anymore. And you start seeing various artists coming in, and they just were drawing any way they wanted to. So somewhere down the line, the structure got really drastically changed. And that's when I kind of was start leaving comics. I felt like the rules that they had before were just being sort of, you know, they just weren't being utilized. So I would say that should be your first thing when you're talking about doing comic books or anything, even animation or whatever. Doing toys, you need to have a good images, solid images of your characters, and I'm not just talking like just action poses and stuff like that. You see that a lot too. I'm saying, like, if you can, you hire somebody to do front, side, and back. You know, as boring as that is, and again, if you want to see how that looks. The Marvel Universe had some good handbook, had some great images in there where they did front, back, and sometimes, you know, just to show, just simple drawings to show the front, back. And they don't have to be, you know, super, you know, whatever. Even if you can't hire somebody, you can just sort of what I call chicken scratching, drawing, then do that. But you have to be able to give enough information so somebody can look at and be like, okay, this character has this weapon on their shoulder. This character has a sword. This guy, you know, those things are important. And I always find that that's something that's almost not even thought of in a certain degree, which is odd, because this is your character. Even now, I'm doing concept sketches and stuff like that of characters and laying them out. And eventually, I'm gonna have to do the same thing. I'm gonna have to do like turnarounds or whatever. Some of them I have, but I'm gonna have to do that because it's gonna be necessary. Say if we get again, if we do really well and whatever, and things sort of grow, it'd be nice to see other artists sort of, you know, come in and maybe do a variant or whatever. Even though I'm not a huge fan of variant covers, I think they're nice. I think if you use them in a way that that it's not like too much, like you make it special in the way you use it, then I think that's great. I'm not a huge fan of variants though. I wouldn't want to see like 4 or 5 different variants. I think that if you get one variant, then that's great. It makes it special, and it keeps the collectability of it much more higher, in my opinion. So anyway, yeah. There you go. Where we're at? Oh, we're at 11.
All right. Let's put some. So I want to make this futuristic. So I'm gonna put like a sort of weird dome-like structure. Okay. And the thing about it too, inside of the zero issue of KAIJUS and COWBOYS, we explain the fact of townships and how townships are like, they have fortress walls and stuff, so these massive walls. So I said I'm gonna put a little inclination of that right up in here. So this would be, you know, like this massive wall. So even if this KAIJU, it's almost, I guess it's a little feeling of like Attack on Titan in a certain degree. But instead, like, you know, you'll have to read it, but that sense of the walls and stuff, because this is the alien world and it's very hostile, and so they need to try to protect the human beings who they eventually will be living in these townships. Draw that in there, draw some lines. So there you go. Draw a little line right there. Let's see. Okay, all right, whew. That's why I do my finger exercises. Oh, boy, I tell you one thing, you always hear the stories of various artists and stuff and the pains, like in their wrists and their eyes and their fingers and everything like that. I'm so conscious of that. I actually, hold on a second, let me see. Oh, here you go. I have a couple of various, you know, these devices and stuff. I have one that's like a silicone base that works the fingers as well, and then I also do wrist exercises and stuff like that when me and Jess are working out. You know, after my surgeries, I just was like, you know, hey, you know, I just became much more mindful of how, you know, fragile you know, my body is to a certain degree. And also the years of just wear and tear I put on it. You know, I used to work out really hard. I was horrible in my my ability, like stretching, and I sucked at it, to be honest with you. I just was in that old school mentality of just like, you know, I go in, I would lift weights and stuff, and just try to get like physically stronger. And my eating was atrocious, and I just you know, yeah. And then it was over because of just circumstances and stuff like that. Things started kicking in. My weight ballooned up, and then I just, you know, I finally had a doctor. Once I got my doctor, my PCP, who just was super real with me about, hey, look, you just went through a major attack with pneumonia, that you're shortening your life, and you know, there's a, you know, if you need help, there's help there, but you're gonna have to fight for this. And that was the turning point for me. And I'm just very fortunate and blessed that Jess was there with me too. Like, it's tough when you're by yourself. If you're by yourself and you have to go through stuff, that's hard. But if you're fortunate enough to have a support group around you, people who you trust, who you care about, if they're there, then that's phenomenal. I say utilize that support. And for me, me and Jess both, we you know, she was struggling with her weight as well, and we both kind of supported one another. And now going on 6 years now, we still work on with our weight and whatever, and working out and just being mindful. But I tell you one thing, it's an ongoing thing, you know. It is good. It becomes a way of the life. I mean, I don't like it when I don't work out. I don't like it when I miss my sleep time. I'm very honest with that. I get a lot of people who they ask me to be on their shows and stuff, YouTube shows and interviews and stuff like that, and a lot of them are like really late night sometimes and whatever. And I'm adamant that I go to bed at 6 p.m. It's almost like, again, that when you're somebody who's dealt with addiction, for us it was food addiction. Having rituals and regimens and stuff like that, they're very important things for that, because we're individuals who did not have control. You know, and when you
don't have control, you know, that's when you start making those mistakes, you know. And the thing is that when I go to bed early, that's something, a promise I kept to myself about retaining that control. You know, if I start going back to old behaviors that weren't good for me, like the fact that when I was really working hardcore in advertising and whatever in different businesses, I had no real time table. You know, I would work insane hours and whatever, and I was losing control. And it's easy to put a smile on it, but eventually the cracks start forming somewhere. You know, you can put a smile on a. So what's that whole thing with tragedy? You see that the happy face, but then you flip it over and it's just sadness. Well, there you go. That was me. And there was few people who saw it. They really recognized it. They could see through the jovial humor and sense that there was something wrong, the anger, the rage that was inside. But the thing is that now I'm at a place in my life where I saw what it was. And then I got to this place also through therapy as well. That helped me, because I was always a person who never felt that there was options, or I always got into my head that I was by myself. And I think that a lot of people struggle with that. They get a sense that they are all alone in this torment that they're going through, but you're not alone. You know, my whole thing now is I say everyone has a story. You know, my story, I have a story, and this person down there has a story, and the person that I just walked past has a story, and each story is unique unto itself. And so, you know, those are some of the reasons why it's like I do the things that I do. Like I'm trying to maintain that control so I don't slip back into, you know, behaviors that really got me into a lot of trouble. This made me unhappy. This made me a very unhappy person. And Jess is there too. She definitely, well, we work out together and stuff like that. So we hold each other accountable of things. If we feel like we're slipping, then we sort of catch one another. And I hope that anybody else out there that is going through something that is similar or even worse, that they can find somebody out there that they truly trust, someone that's personal, that can be there for them to give that support, that helping hand to them. And hopefully I'm not just turning into like one of those deep down kind of moments, but that's also part of the whole thing too. You know, keeping it real. That was always one of the things that I remember growing up, was that I would always hear it, but then also it wasn't just about hearing, it was about practicing what you preach. You know, you just can't just sit up there and keep talking the talk. You got to walk the walk. And I'm glad that I had people who infused that, you know, into me. They just were like, you know, talk's cheap. You're either gonna do it or you're not gonna do it, and then move on. But don't just sit there and turn it into this whole dramatic experience. You know, you have a lot of control. You just gotta want to do it. And there you go. All right, we're at that stage now where it's 11:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and now this is the final part. I'm gonna be reaching for now. A couple of you guys, ladies as well. When I use the term guys, I use, you know, for male and female as well. Have seen some of my videos in which I use an old technique that we used to do. Look at that. QTips and dyes, and this would be my Copic Dyes. I also have some Copic brushes as well. This is a technique that I did, that many artists, illustrators did when we were in the art studio, which was in the ad agency that we was working at. And the thing is that it was a nice technique to do, where you just grab. I think at the time we also had these they were like cotton swabs. I want to feel like they were cotton swabs, so we would just douse the dye with the cotton swab and then just come in and get these big areas. So you hit it with this nice spot coloring, and that's what we called it, spot coloring. Spot coloring is also used in book art and stuff like that. Spot coloring, if you're not sure what that is really just coming in and that's the best way to describe it. If you have this figure of camera and it's just line art, and then what you want to do is it's not even about the point of even filling in all the color. It's just like you just come in and you just throw a swatch of color in there, you know, like whatever, the green, the gray, or whatever, and then it just fills it in for that moment, and then that's it. You're not laboring too much in it, and it looks really interesting, the effect. This is what I'm going to do right now. So all right, so hold your breath. I'm about to do it, and this is what I call black and white. When I do black and white sketch cards,
or even black and white commissions on much larger paper or whatever, this is what I consider black and white, and this is what I will be offering for those who decide to contribute to the campaign. So as you see, I just come in. Now, doing stuff like this, there has to be a level of, you're not going to be scared, you're not going to be afraid, because there's never really any accidents when it comes to this stuff. You're laying down gray tone. The difference between laying down gray tone instead of like color is the fact that gray tone is like, how's the best way to describe it? It's not going to be something where, when people look at it, it's not going to be an overpowering kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like if I came in here and I colored a Gamera yellow, then clearly you see that and you go, that's not right. He's not yellow, Whereas with the gray right here, this is almost like the effect of almost watching the black and white version of the movie, in which, in my opinion, nothing's wrong with it. So we would come in and just do these nice swatches of color, gray. And that would be it, and you could just play with the different variations of it. So right now I just grabbed a cool, I'm actually running out of some of these too. C3, which is the cool gray 3, number 3. And I've had a lot of these, a couple of years. Like I said before in previous videos that I've done, that I hate throwing away stuff. I do. So what I'm gonna do is, this is like an assembly line. It's like you go in and then you just start hitting them. And this is just what a Q-tip. Now I have the precision tip ones, but I also grabbed a couple of regular Q-tips, and they're nice too, because they're much more, once they start getting soaked with the ink and stuff, or the dye, they're just much more fatter. They fill up and stuff, so gives you much more room to sort of go. And again, with spot coloring, it's really about just getting in there and just you're not being afraid to just dabble some color down on it. Nothing, I don't think you can't really go wrong with it, in my opinion. And this is the kind of stuff that we would do for, like, for client presentations. I hit it with a little bit more. And we had these big dies. I remember that. We would have all these big dies and just like boom, boom, boom. So there you go. There's another one. Look at that. And it's like an assembly line. Personally, I don't think it takes away from it. I think that, again, it gives it that nice classic black and white kind of, like you feel like you're watching a black and white movie. For him, it's like I want to show like the light, like Godzilla's light is going. And then you hit the buildings with a little bit, not too much, just a little. It's just there to really help just fill in just a little bit of stuff. You don't want to go too crazy with it. And then boom, there you go. And then, oh my God, right here. So we got the wall back here. So I'm gonna hit. I'm actually gonna use. I think I'm gonna bring up the what I would do is, what I've done in the past is I'm gonna do him cold, and then I'm gonna grab my warm grays to kind of add a different little feel to it. So you come in and just hit a little bit in there, boom, 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 and then hit this in the foreground. Go on. There you go. And I'm still not done because I got to add in the Pro Gel White just to kind of hit certain areas and spots. All right, so then you got that. All right. And again, this is what I call black and white. And this is what I'll be doing for any persons who decide to get the sketch cards reward tier on the KAIJUS and COWBOYS Kickstarter. All right, now I'm going to be breaking out my warm gray, and this is a warm gray 3, in which I go back there. Now, the reason why I do that is just to break it up. I remember I did, I think last year I did a puzzle card with Transformers for someone, and that was pretty good. It came out pretty good, And then sometimes I'll come in with a little bit of that, just to hit on it, just to pump it out a little bit. All right. There we go. And again, let me just show you right here. No bleed. no bleed. These are 32-point black edge cards, and in the post I put the email of Karen, who is part of Econics Digital Arts. I just stress it. I can't stress it anymore. They did a fantastic job. I had a typo that I had missed, and they caught it, and they immediately contacted me without going ahead with with printing, which would have been a disaster. So you know what? For this, I think I'm gonna add a little bit of gray tone in it, just a little bit. This is what spot coloring is. Spot coloring isn't about trying to focus too much on it, but you just kind of get in there and you just to fill it out a little bit. There you go. Okay, and I still gotta add some white in there. So here you go, got 2 down. These cards are very durable. I love them. Fantastic job. For this one, I think I'm gonna add a little bit into Godzilla, just to give it a little bit of warm and a little cold in the heat. Right in the front a little bit. Get the helicopter in there a little bit. Okay, let's get some. Yeah, I mean, if you really want to see some color stuff that I did, the stuff that I did for the Ultraman set, oh, there's the one card where I did like multiple versions of him doing martial arts. And it was like, yeah, I had a reference book about it. I had a reference book working from it, but I was like, I had this idea of like, I was like, I'm gonna draw Ultraman, and these just multiple images, and yeah, that's actually that piece is one of mine. It's an artist proof card, so I don't know. Artist proofs are for artists. If no one is not aware, it's when you do work for companies and stuff, companies, you get paid for the card work that you do, but also you get artist proof. And artist proofs are pretty much these really special, rare cards that some artists can choose not to do anything, and then they can, a potential collector will contact them, and then hire them to do the card work on it, and that can happen. But for this, I knew what I wanted to put on those cards, so that's gonna be a tough one. I don't know if it's that weird thing when you sell something that you really like. So I don't know. It hasn't dawned on me yet. I'll have to see what happens when they hit the market. So there you go. That's just hitting some spot color grays on it. Oh, I see here. Let me just hit this guy. I hit the other one as well. I'm gonna hit him with a little bit of gray too. Looks like he needs a little bit more. Just hit him a little bit. And again, spot coloring, just to flesh it. Nothing too crazy. But again, if the option is, if somebody truly wants something full color, and they're like, hey man, I just want it full color, whatever, you have that option of, after the campaign ends, you can send me an email, and then I will tell you the price to do it in color, full color, and then you can make a decision there. You can just be like, well, okay, sure, Frank, go for it, or you just say, nope, I don't think that price is the right price I can do, and so forth. But hopefully the thing is that you still have the artwork. You still will have this artwork, original piece and stuff. So that's the key thing. And this will be the level of artwork that I can do for you. Now I'm gonna wrap this up. 11:20. Going past 11:30, so that's okay. I'm gonna add a little bit of this. Is my gel pen. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I got a few of them, but by far it's been the best one that I've used. Now, one of the things about me is I love putting little star scenes in there. I love that. Just to light it up. Put some light in Godzilla's eye. Yeah. There you go. And then just light certain things up. Like adding a little bit of specks right in there. Little tap, tap, tap. Oh, you know what? And I have to put my name in. I forgot all about that. Darn it. You know what? And this is those little mistakes right there. But hey, I'm gonna color this in, let that dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna put my name. Because the thing about it is for these, I don't know if anybody, just in case, just a recap. I decided to write the name of the character on the back, but if you wanted me to write my name, I can write my name back there, but it is a limited space. So I would probably suggest me writing the name of the character, and then I'll just sign it. I'll let this dry a little bit, but I'll sign it like I did this one right here. You see right here. So it's one, and as you can see, this dried up pretty quick. So I like to hit it with a couple little highlights, you know, give a sense of fire, destruction, and whatever. And there you go. Yeah, hit it up there, fill it up, and that's one down. All right, let's get Gamma in there. And Gamma, now this idea is that he's coming up, he's emerging from heat, fire. Now, if this was to be in full color, oh man, you'd really see the flames, and you know, I'd really get in there and stuff. But again, that's a choice. I want that to be a choice for people, you know, because it does. It would affect the pricing and stuff like that. And we were very mindful on what we were going to be asking people in a sense of cost. And as you can see, I still feel like this is pretty good. You know, it's not like you're not getting something that's going to be bad quality. So a couple of lights over there, custom chest. Put some lights in there, a little bit of dabs right there. All right. Okay. We don't have to do too much. Actually, you know what? Yeah. Now I'm looking at it, put a little bit of black in there. I don't like the way that leg's looking right there. Put a little bit more shadow in there, you know? And again, I want to thank everyone. I haven't had a chance. I forgot that I had, yeah, see, old man memories. I forgot that I had posted in a bunch of different groups and stuff. So I've been just looking at my main page and just been like, oh man, no one's not, you know, where's love? And instead, the love's been in all these other places I've been posted. So, you know, I'll check those out after I wrap this all up and stuff, and I can get a chance to, you know, just look at it and stuff, and I'll definitely respond. But anyway, I just want to throw a shout out to you all who came here and checking it out, watching it, and please feel free to share. And then also, again, in the post, I have the links for my YouTube page. So if you want to see other examples of my artwork, my YouTube channel's on there. But then also, the really, really important one is the Kickstarter campaign that's going on right now for the exclusive, comic book, 0 issue of KAIJUS and COWBOYS, which is only going to be in that Kickstarter. And so, I highly suggest that you definitely go for it, because we actually did get picked up, and KAIJUS and COWBOYS will be published by Second Sight Publishing 2022. And that's what we're going to be working on. All right, let's fix these eyes. I think it's about to stay. Yeah. And just lay some spot color. Actually, you know what? I think I will put little. This is where the markers come in a little bit. Ooh, this one's a strong one, so here, dab it, dab, dab, dab. Okay, let's see, any more? A little bit, get a sense that there's dirt and stuff on it. I see this is a lot darker, so I can dab that a little bit. There you go. Maybe dab his hat too. Let's put some darkness in here a little bit. All right. Let's see. Let's hit a little bit of darkness in there. Yeah. And this is what happens when you run into a person who's, like me, who's looking at something and going, okay, is it done yet? It has to get done, right? And I forget my teacher, I think it might have been Charlie, or maybe it was Hal, always said, like, you gotta bless it. You gotta be there to bless it. Wrap it up.
do that anyway. Because what happens is they could be overkill. You know, I don't want to overkill. I don't want to beat this piece to death. Okay. Okay, there you go. Nice. Come on, hang in there, hang in there. There you go. Boom. Boom, that's it. You know what? I'm gonna hit a little bit in here too. And this is what happens with me. See a little darkness in there. So we can get that sense that you can see his chin and stuff like that. Yep. A little bit over here. Yep. A little bit in there. All right, there we go. Pump it up a little bit. Yeah. How's that looking? Feeling that? It's looking pretty good. All right, and then finally this guy right here. Then let me just add a little bit more in there. It's actually, his fur should be pretty dark, so let me just come in and just fill that. Now I think about it, it's pretty dark. I kind of did the same effect like with when I was doing Franklin Gore for it came out on Wednesday, which was co-created with John Freeman. Whereas he has a lot of fur on his body. Gotta be gentle about this right here. Little line, little hits. This. Yeah, I just want to darken this a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let me do his fur. Just do a little bit of fur in there. Darken it. And again, this boy, this is really handling it really good. I'm really laying down some love on this right here. So, okay, I'm gonna pop that eye out. So it adds like 2 eyes and stuff. Just lighten this up a little bit. Okay, let's put a little bit of. All right. Okay, we're getting close to the finish line. So this actually took me, boy, it took me a lot longer, huh? But it was 4 cards anyway, so am I yapping too? All right, let me just add a couple of lines in there. Pump that up a little bit. Let's get this. This is dark, so I'm gonna put these as. Okay. All right. All right. This is that point where I don't want to overdo it. So anyway, I guess I can move my paper now. Move that out. Let's line these guys up against here. Okay, I'll swap it on one end. So what you see right here are 4 sketches that I started today. And once I post the video, then you'll be able to actually move it up. And let me adjust my chair. Move around a little bit. All right. So you got the 4 cards, and they are the official cards of the KAIJUS and COWBOYS Kickstarter that is going on right now. And we are so close. We are very, very close. I mean, we started it last Friday, and it would be fantastic if we can just smash through this Friday, tomorrow,
and get it funded. And then anything past that's gonna just, take it even higher, hopefully, so that then that goes into the production of the actual series, which is coming out in 2022. So just remember that the comic book that if you do contribute to the campaign, that is just exclusive only for this campaign. And then if you do commission me to do some sketch card art, or even like I think I have another reward tier for much more, a little bigger artwork, then the bigger artwork is definitely going to probably be a lot more detailed than this because of the size wise. But it is black and white, and for me, black and white is adding gray tones on it. If you if you are interested in having a particular, like, this is a character that, a different IP kaiju, then I'm open to doing that as well. The branding's right there already, so there's no worries. So yeah, if you came to me and you said, hey, I want you to do the gargantuans. Gargantuas are, I don't know, this is so many, Mothra or something like that, then I have no problem with it. If it is your own personal creation, then please have reference available to send me so that I can work from it, because it's really, really tough to just kind of, and really good reference. I have to state that because, when I was doing work for Colossal Kaiju Combat many moons ago, I had I got to see a lot of various, concepts and ideas for various characters that they weren't created by me. They were all created by the people who were part of that of Colossal Kaiju Combat. And so they brought me in to do artwork for the trading cards. So to take the ideas and concepts and actually, you know what? Here, let me move these cards shortly. I can actually show you, which would probably be better. I was brought in to take those concepts and ideas and do, trading cards. Do the trading card artwork. So, and this is where I go back to that whole thing where you can get the Ultra Pro Collector's Album. And these are some of the cards. I mean, I think I have 3 more books filled with these images that I did. So this would be an example. Here's one, too. But this character wasn't created by me. It was created by someone else. And then I was hired to, let me see if I can get some of that glare off. I was hired to make it, do the artwork to make it special, pretty much. So there you go. And then they did the power levels and stuff like that. So, and this was like a card game. It also was going to be a video game, but that's a whole other story. But here's some other ones as well that I did. And when I look back at the work that I did on these, I mean, it's pretty, man. I mean, even I'm like, I look at it and I go, wow, I can't believe I did these. I'm trying to make the characters, and trying to stay true to what the people were trying to do. But unfortunately, many times there were many people who had what I call chicken scratch drawings. There were other people who had more defined drawings, and there was just some people who didn't have any drawings. And then me and the person who had hired me and stuff would tell me what to do pretty much, and then I would sort of be like, okay, is this how the character looks and whatever. So it's very important that you have to have some designs and stuff of your characters, just in case if another artist gets their hands on it and they want to draw. Like, I want to make sure that what I do stays close to what the creator envisioned. Yeah, these are nice cards. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. Oh, so many cards. That's a nice one. This was a fun one. I actually like this one. I feel like I did another version of this guy. Here's another one too. And these are trading cards, and the artwork was hand drawn and then scanned in the computer and then colored in Photoshop. So I think I got a ton of the original artwork just sitting around. Yeah, a lot of pieces. Oh yeah, there's a famous one right there. I posted this one a few times. And then this one below. Shadow of Red. So this is like one. Hey, there's Bubbles. It's a great character. It's a wonderful character. Love that character. Yeah, there's a lot of cool ideas. It definitely it pushed my imagination, you know. And the only way and the reason why was just because of the amount of cards I was doing, and the ideas and stuff. And so the final thing is I wanted to showcase some more cards, but this time this is more original work from other artists. This is Roger Andrews, a buddy of mine. He did a lot of stuff, and I guess he still does with Hasbro, but I commissioned him years ago to do these for me. Super Robots. And he did those up there, and that one too. Super Robots, I love Force 5. That was the Get a Robo team. And these are all hand drawn. This is another one. I forgot the name. Oh, this was like a steel card that I did a couple of years ago. Metal card. That's of my my artwork piece, Force 5. I had it done like metallic. It's pretty cool. So this is great. I mean, I really hope that people can get into collecting sketch cards. I'm happy to see so many indie comic book people are starting to embrace it a lot. I've got another artist that I commissioned years ago. Again, my love for the Shogun Warriors. It's a beautiful, beautiful, like 3-card puzzle. Another one right here, 2-card puzzle. Fantastic. Those are sketch cards. Another one right here, their version of Grandizer, Guy King. Combatra. Drew Moss did that one, huh? Love these, look at that. As you can see, I really enjoy collecting these. Another one. This is Robot God Akamatsu. This is me and James Robot. And this is one with Red Ronin, Guy King, and then Vanguard Ace, my favorite robot. 11, so I'm assuming that was 2011. This was a thank you card I did really quick, 2012. Herb Trimpe. This is Herb Trimpe's pieces that I purchased and stuff. Radine. This is Drew Moss. He did, that's Robot God Akamatsu. This is one that I did of someone's robot, Ameriton Cancer. And then this is an original card set 1, Marvel Beginnings. After Herb Trimpe, I wrote 2012. And it was a puzzle that I did. This would be like how color. It's just an example of a color card. I don't know if you guys can see. I don't want to get too much glare in there, but this would be. And then I think this is Roy Cover. Yeah, Roy Cover did this one. I commissioned him 2010. Did Red Ronin against Fin Fang Foom. Look at the intense color right there. Look at that. His work is so clean. The line work. This is a sketch card, people. Marvel Beginnings. This is on an official AP Marvel Beginnings card. That's what I'm talking about. That is absolutely stunning. This is my own cards that I did, my own APs. I haven't let those go. That was 2011. This was Avengers AP that I have, and that was 2012. Anytime I had a chance to put Red Ronin in, and I knew I was gonna keep those cards, I was like, I'm keeping Red Ronin regardless. And this was a Red Ronin one. I can't think of the artist's name too. Jaro? He did the other ones too, but look at that. Look how clean that is. Man, look at the highlights in there. Still holds up. And then this is that Trojanzer and Draganzer, created by Devon Kemmel. Yeah, 2012. Yeah, I did a 4-card puzzle, which would be considered a no-no in the sketch card field, because in most cases, you want to try to make sure that all the artwork, like if a collector was to pick this up, you don't want to just give them just a lower half of each piece. You want to be able to add stuff. Like I should have had like some other characters in there, another character in there, something full, and then they got these 2 pieces right there. And I actually would always sneak RG Robogarakamatu in there somewhere. And then oh, Peter Samedi, finally got Pete to do some 2019. He did I commissioned him to do the Shogun Warriors. And this is black and white, and I love his work. And these are there's 2 others that I have a hard time. I don't know if I could ever give up. These are my cover recreations. I was curious because I saw so many other people doing it, and it's something that I doubt I would. I don't know. And I know I don't want to do again. But I had to get it out of my system, so I did the magazine version, and this is sketch cards, and then I did the cover for issue 1, and I'm happy how it came out. It was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm trying to see. Marvel Universe. I don't know where. I think I purchased this like online on eBay or something. It had a Sentinel in it, so as long as it had a robot in it, I was fine. Here's another. This is another one I got. I forgot where. 2009. Really good. Terminator. I think Evangelion character. I forgot who I got this one from. It was really cool. Let's see. Yeah, this is one of. I think I sold all of my APs for Voltron. But this is a Voltron card. Yeah, I sold all my AP cards for Voltron. I want to put Kevin Graham, maybe? But I like that. It's another one. That's Robogarakamatu, my character. Oh, this is one of my cards. 2010. It's the Voltron one. I look, yeah. Some weird creature. I don't know what this other creature is. Some land free. Godzilla, Spears. Yeah. Oh, come on. I can do it. All right. Fred Hembick. Yeah, Fred Hembick's an old schooler for Marvel. He did a ton of stuff, and he's been doing a lot of eBay stuff. So I think I commissioned him though. I think I commissioned him to do characters from the Shogun Warriors and the Red Ronin, Dr. Demonicus. This was, I forgot who did this. This was a big old by somebody. This was my character that I did for the M Hop on Hop non-sport trading card. Featured Frankie B. Washington. That was 2010. Drew myself in there, but then this is the original artwork, and that's the image, the card. And then Fred Hembick. It's pretty cool. Yeah, he did a great job. And then finally, yeah, there he goes. Hembick signed in the back. And then this is my version. This is Robogarakamatu I did in 2011. And then this is Joe St. Pierre, Robogarakamatu. And again, look at the power in his work. He did a tremendous job. And this is all sketch card size. So anyway, everyone, I just want to just thank you again for checking out what I did. And here you go, one final little recap. Put them out there. I don't know what I'm going to do with these cards. These ones I just did. I have an auction. I'm going to be part of an auction. Actually, I'm going to be part of an auction on Saturday with Alterna. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to put these guys up just yet. So we'll see. But anyway, today was really just to showcase what your card may look like. Well, it will look like. I won't say may. It will look like if you decide to get the reward tier on the KAIJUS and KAIJU and COWBOYS. God, I've been saying this so much. KAIJUS and COWBOYS Kickstarter. You know, you go in there, you go in the tier for sketch cards, and this is what you'll get. You know, no fluffy stuff or anything like that. This is it, and you have the choice of whether or not you want to see a character that's, you know, ideally, me and Matthew would love for you to commission me to do a character like, you know, Hunter, the bot with no name, or one of the KAIJUS that's in it and stuff like that. I think any indie comics person would want people to have their character out there. But with that said, it also has the name KAIJUS in it. So that means that to me, if you want to have Gamera in it, you want Godzilla in it, if you want King Kong in it, if you want whatever kaiju that you can think of, one character, a minimal background, then I can do that. I can do that with you, for you. And this is the level of what I consider black and white, like a black and white film. If you're really, really adamant on having color, and I can only stress this, and by all means contact me beforehand if you are still kind of fudgy on it or whatever. If you really want color, then after you've already made your contribution, or I mean even before, if you just want to ask what the price will be to get full color, then I will gladly tell you. Then that will be a separate payment than what's on the auction. I mean, not the auction. Excuse me, the campaign. Man, whew. You can tell I'm reaching that point now. My brain's like, go to sleep. But I can't go to sleep. There's more drawing to do. So anyway, I just want to thank everyone for just coming by and, hanging with me. I actually went over my time. Woof. But, hey, it is. It's all in goodness. These cards are phenomenal. They're solid. There's no bleed through them. And go, check out our Kickstarter. And if you see something that you like, but if anything, even the books, then please, we would love to get funded, get it done. We're so close. We literally, the finish line is right in view. If we just get past that point, then anything else past that would be just the extra icing on the cake and stuff. And, hey, icing is good. It's nice and sweet. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging with me. And, all right, I hope you have a wonderful day. And as I always say, keep that art flowing.